That's the summary. No, I'm kidding.
I mean,
Uh,
you're not wrong.
so this is an anime about a girl who well, was it like a massage parlor? Was that what it was? Or like a general health fitness thing? I was
Yeah, I think it must have been because he was like helping her diet and stuff. It
yeah,
wasn't just a massage.
yeah. So this is a girl who's gotten like really insecure about the amount of weight that she's gained all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but like over time of being in Japan. And she approaches main character guy, whose name I did not get. I don't even know if we even got the name. Uh,
He's a very nice and handsome young man.
and as they're talking, oh, well, not actually as they're talking,
She comes in like in total full disguise. She's wearing like sunglasses and a mask and a
and a hat
beanie.
that literally says human. Just to be like,
Well,
guys,
well, yeah. I mean,
on no certain terms, guys, I am human. I mean, look, even my hat says human on
you don't wear a human hat, Coco? Are you not
it.
human?
Well, listen, if I go in sundown towns, they don't think I'm human. So anyway,
True.
uh,
Dude!
yeah, no. So it turns out that this girl
Hi.
is an elf, hence plus-sized elf, or the Japanese name, which is Elf-san
Why?
Warudai or something, I forget. The reason why she wants to lose weight is because, well, actually, at first I thought it was because she was just really
I'll be
insecure
right back then,
to go
actually.
back to her world, having put on all this weight because she's worried about how she'd be judged for it.
That's how she made it sound
But then
at
I
first.
guess I guess it just turns out that she literally can't go back to her world if she's fat because the
The portal requires you to be the same weight you were when you came through.
oh, they say so if you came in fat, then it would let you leave fat.
Yeah.
I thought the portal was just fat phobic.
Oh, actually, she just has to get fat in her world, and this problem will
Hello.
be solved.
Wait, that's actually a good point. Well, I mean, I imagine her like not wanting to be judged for being fat in her world is still like a factor since she briefly said that.
But she sure didn't seem to care talking to the guy. She seemed pretty totally happy being fat as
Well,
long as she can eat
she
french
doesn't
fries.
care what lowly humans think. She only cares what her fellow prestige, high aristocratic elf peers think. Um, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I guess this meme doesn't really work because you told me that it actually is still quite possible to gain a lot of weight on Japanese food. But I was just thinking, like, if she put on this much weight after getting isekai'd to Japan, just imagine how much weight she'd gain if she got isekai'd to fucking the United States. I think she'd die of a heart attack
Nah,
within
I
like
mean,
a
I
fucking.
think Japan, like, they've got a lot of fast food type stuff is the thing. You can eat pretty unhealthy there. But
Yeah,
in Elfsan's case, we literally see she has like a pile of French fries. She ordered like 20 large fries at McDonald's.
she's obsessed with them, and in all the marketing for this show, she like always has fries in her mouth,
Yes.
kind of like in my banner.
The
Uh,
picture that we just associate with our old acquaintance still, because that used to be his avatar.
so I kind of assumed to some extent that this show would be about like a girl trying to like manage her weight and like stay in shape. I've seen like panels from this manga where she's like constantly checking her weight and she's like, "Oh my God, I've relapsed so bad. I've fucking gone up to like 10 billion."
Thought the whole premise was gonna be her like trying to lose the weight, and then everything they do ends up failing at the end of the episode. But
Yeah,
no, she immediately lost all the weight.
yeah.
She lost the weight like 5 minutes in.
She has very mixed metabolism. She loses weight fast and she gains it back fast as well.
I assume she has a perfectly fine metabolism. It's just the fact that, even if you have a good metabolism, you can't eat.
20 fucking fried
Yeah, you
packs
can't
of
eat
fries.
20 large fries from McDonald's every day and not get fat.
Yeah. But what I was gonna say is that even though I kind of like knew like the general idea of this show, one thing well, actually, I suppose it still remains to be seen, but I'm assuming that this show is gonna be a harem. I'm assuming. I did not know that there was a male protagonist in this, or that it would become like a harem at all. Which I feel, I mean, I don't know how you felt about the main character, but it kind of speaks to, the main character himself being like maybe a little bit bland. I don't know. I mean, I don't really hear fans of this story talk about the MC. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean,
But I
I
mean,
agree. I just assumed it would just be about the elf.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like kind of a generically nice guy.
hmm
He's not meant to be like a
The
complex character.
the vessel for which we get to ogle the body of this big, voluptuous,
Yeah.
elf character.
Yeah, they do show bare tits in
Yeah,
this, by the way. A lot. Like most
this
of the
show.
episode.
I mean, to start with, even before you see bare titties, this show is not hesitant to do like a ton of boob shots and just boing, boing, boom,
I
boing.
did think it was very funny when her shirt just exploded off her body because she's so thick.
Yeah, God, she's perfect. But I was gonna say on the subject of this show being uncensored and having bare titties in it, I'm actually starting to notice that there actually does seem to be an uptick in fan service shows that just do that, that just show nudity, which,
Yeah.
in the past was like not really a thing. I mean, you had your Shin Maimano testaments, or like if you want to go even further back, you had like your high school DxDs, but like it's not like it wasn't like super common for fan service shows to show this much. You just get the panty shot, the thigh shot, the cleavage shot, etc. But now, I guess anime directors are just like, you know what? What if we just showed girls naked? What if we just showed them naked?
One of these days, the arrow genre is going to be completely dead and it's just going to be porn.
Because, you had like what is it? Even Inukai-san's dog had like full-blown nudity in it as well, or like various other shows. It's becoming a whole thing, and I imagine some people who are fans of the ecchi genre might have some mixed feelings about that because some people, prefer tasteful lewds to just full-blown nudity. So you might be someone who prefers the panty shot or the peek into the boob window of the girl's
I
outfit.
feel
This
like the
sounds so
panty
fucking
shot, to me, the panty shot feels less tasteful than just showing it.
just showing full-blown nudity.
Yeah, like the panty shot is like, that feels like I'm creeping on the person versus nudity is just like, okay, we're just doing lewd stuff.
I mean, that's usually what is actually happening because like the main character will be shown like leering at the girl, whereas like in this, it's just like a thing that is happening. In fact, Elf-san herself seems to have a very casual attitude when it comes to being naked, actually. Because like when
Yeah,
her
she did not. She was totally ready to just take off her shirt, and the guy was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
And then when her clothes ripped off, the guy was just like, "I'm gonna get you some new clothes," and she's just like, "I
Well, I
okay."
guess, elves live in nature. Maybe
hmm
that's just normal for her. Uh, I mean, it was okay. It was only 10 minutes, the first episode.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wait, actually, there is one thing I forgot to mention on the subject of this show being willing to show nudity and stuff. The mangaka of elf son um actually is a hentai doujin artist.
Oh,
That is one thing I forgot to
interesting.
mention. Yeah. I did not know that until was looking at the at at his works on his Annulus profile a couple months back. So that would probably explain why the fan service in this is a bit more explicit than normal.
That does make me more curious about what the manga looks like. Because I will say, it didn't. The show did not look that good. Like
Yeah,
it was pretty.
it was
It,
okay.
it was like pretty still, pretty panning shots.
Pretty still not.
It felt pretty moving manga. I mean, there was a little when the boobs came out, there was a little bit of animation, but
It's not that surprising that the
Okay, all
animation in
right,
this is not that great
we're back.
because I looked up the
And
studio.
this time I actually have my mic unmuted because last time, and nobody pointed this out to me, but I guess the last time I just didn't have my mic unmuted. So I guess when when I thought I was out here fucking commentating over whatever fucking Destiny video I was watching last time, I wasn't actually commentating over it. I was basically just restreaming it. Uh, fucking hell. Well, that's kind of embarrassing. Um, well, I guess it wasn't totally restreaming since at least the audio of everyone else who was in the call was playing in the fucking thing. Oh, but I'm back. For real this time. Audio not muted. And boy oh boy, is there stuff happening, I guess. It's as I said in the Twitter post that I made about this. Cut a Hollywood writer and a pervert
Dude,
bleeds, okay?
dude,
Cut a
dude.
Hollywood writer and a pervert bleeds. It's yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that's why Bo DeMaio was fired, right? You know what I say to that?
What?
Now's my chance to write fucking Old Man Blade, dude.
So, okay. So quick backstory for this, okay? So there was a show that I'm sure all of you heard of, okay? X-Men 97. Heard it was pretty
Hell
good.
yeah!
Haven't
I
seen it
never watched it.
I haven't seen it myself yet because I'm kind of over here like I want to see I'm debating with myself whether or not I want to watch the original X-Men first. I've heard from people that you don't really need to have seen that to be able to enjoy X-Men 97. But
Bro, that show was part of my fucking childhood.
yeah. Um
So like I've seen it front to back like tons of times. And with X-Men 97 finally out, I could actually watch this season and love it
mhm.
and separate the art from the artist.
So so the lead writer of this whole thing was I believe he was the head writer. And
He was.
people credit
His
him
name
for
is
the show being as good as it was. Was a
his
guy
name is Bo
called
DeMaio.
Bo DeMaio, not Bu. Okay, whatever. Um,
Bo DeMaio.
and out of nowhere, okay, a couple months back, he just gets fired. He just gets fired, and
He
everyone's
got
like,
fired as soon as the first series started airing, which is weird.
"Yeah, pretty much." And everyone's just like, "What the fuck?" Like, why is Marvel like firing like the
Why
guy
did they do
who
that?
why did they fire the guy who made the show like good, basically? That's like the question that everyone was asking, and people speculated it might have been like creative differences or some shit
And
like that.
people people also expected it was because the head writer Bo DeMaio had an OnlyFans, which I mean that is weird, and was very gay.
And that's not weird. People can do whatever they want in their spare time. I mean, I can
No, I'm saying it's weird because why would Disney be mad at that?
Well, I can see both sides of it because on the one hand, it's like people should be allowed to do whatever they want in their spare time, but also Disney, despite despite finally pivoting into doing stuff that isn't just for kids, like ever since they bought like Lucasfilm and Marvel, I
Yeah,
imagine Disney still wants to have a mainly
family
family-friendly
family
image.
oriented
Uh,
image.
so like
But like,
if one of the prominent people working with them is like basically a porn star, it's like okay, nah. But yeah, so
Disney have been doing adult films for a while now. They had Touchstone Pictures for a while. One
hmm
of the movies on Touchstone Pictures was Spike Lee's film 25th Hour,
yeah, I have
and that
not
movie's
seen
fucking
that,
great.
but
It was produced by Tobey Maguire.
oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So basically, it turns out, oh, actually, what happens is Bo DeMaio starts talking a bunch of shit about why he got fired. I guess he was like trying to imply that like Disney was like homophobic or some shit. Uh,
To be honest,
and a
I
bunch of
tried to imply that to a friend because uh, Disney are still known for that shit. Remember the "Don't Say Gay" bill?
yeah.
But now looking at what happened now and fuck them. Please give the context, Coco.
Um, I mean, they definitely did not fire him because they're homophobic. They fired
No,
him because bro was sending sexually
he
suggestive images of himself cosplaying as Marvel superheroes to staff on the show. So basically, he was fired for sexual misconduct. And
yeah.
and
I don't
it
like that shit.
he basically set himself up because he probably wouldn't have gotten they probably wouldn't have leaked all this stuff about him if he had just kept quiet, but he decided to go after them, and they were like, "Ah, hell no, we're not gonna take this optics L." So they fucking, exposed all that shit about him. Uh,
Yeah.
bro should have kept his mouth shut, and he didn't keep his mouth shut,
He
and
should have.
he's paying the
Uh,
price for it. He's paying the price for it.
yeah.
I mean, it's not even just a matter of not keeping his mouth shut. He shouldn't have fucking done that shit in the first place, but
Yeah. It
uh,
turns out he wanted to do an Old Man Blade movie in Wesley Snipes' universe
hmm
before he got fired.
tired.
Uh, fired.
No, I'm saying it's tired. It's been done.
It's been done one time and Wesley Snipes is back. Fuck you. I want to do it.
Oh, so we got this article from Variety here. I don't think it really states anything that I haven't already said, but yeah, I mean, shit's crazy. Uh,
It certainly
hopefully,
doesn't say anything that I haven't already said, especially
hopefully,
about that Old Man Blade movie. I
hopefully
want to make that
the
movie.
hopefully the next season will still be good. Uh,
It was written by him, but he's going uncredited because of all that shit.
I mean, he wasn't the only writer. Um,
He
uh,
wasn't. No, that's true.
and also, from what I heard, season two was basically already written before all this even happened. So
Yeah,
like,
that's what I said.
so uh, I mean, shit. If that's the case, then that means that season two at least will remain largely unaffected. Who knows if the show goes beyond that? But I mean, the episodes written by other writers were decent-ish too, from what I heard. So, you never know. But I mean, yeah. So here's the article. Uh, oh right. Uh, I actually want to get the. So they were pretty vague about it to start with. They simply labeled it egregious nature, and then people looked into it further, and that's when we found out about all this other shit.
Yep.
And
Bo
it's
DeMaio's a fucking sexual harasser.
and it's
Just like the guy who created Happy Death Day, dude. His name is Scott Lobdell.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh,
He also Scott Lobdell co-created Onslaught.
oh, he
And the
was
movie
fired.
Happy
He
Death
was
Day.
fired before the series even started airing.
Really?
Yeah, it says DeMaio was fired in March 2024 ahead of the series premiere on Disney Plus. He had
That's
completed.
weird. I thought he was fired like the day it started airing.
No, it was just
Just
before. He had completed work on seasons 1 and 2 of the animated program ahead of his exit. DeMaio also wrote on the fellow Marvel and Disney. Oh, he worked on Moon Knight. Interesting.
oh,
Um, I actually kind of liked that. I know most people hated it, but I thought it was okay. I
I
watched it
never
with
watch.
I watched it with my
I
mom.
don't watch Disney Plus originals. The only Disney Plus original I've watched was technically Doctor Who and the Beatles the Beatles miniseries Get Back.
Hmm. I watched uh I watched Moon Knight, um
Oh,
Miss Marvel,
hmm.
Loki was pretty good. I'd recommend Loki. That's probably like among one
I
of the
only
best
watched the
ones.
first episode.
Loki was pretty good. Like it
The
was
first
solid.
episode I watched was pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oops.
but I didn't finish watching it because I'm making fucking content right now. But
Good.
but anyway,
Variety has reached out to DeMaio for further comment. Oh, well, anyways, there was another article I was reading before this one from Variety where Bo DeMaio basically said that everything that's been outed about him is bullshit and that he will be making some kind of statement about this later on. So we'll see what he has to say about this shit
we'll see what he has to say.
when it
If it
when it
is fake, if then fuck Disney. But if it's real, then fuck Boda Mile. Just straight up.
yeah. Um,
There's no in between really.
there's no what? Sorry, say that again.
In between. In between
Oh.
the Lions.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Um,
So about all this other news, what's this other news that I saw in your announcements?
oh
Who
shit,
the
what was the other news?
who is what the hell is EFAP? Ain't
Oh,
what
oh,
ain't that like Pornhub or something? What the hell is
that.
EFAP?
EFAP, my friend, is a. So, are you familiar with like YouTubers like Mahler and I think Mahler is pretty much like in terms of the main cast, like the main members of the EFAP, Mahler is pretty much the only one that's like known. Like, no one really knows who Wolf is. I mean, no offense, Wolf. No one
Oh
really,
really?
no one really knows
Who
who.
the fuck are any of those people?
No one really knows who Rags is. No one really knows who Fringy is. Like,
Wait a minute. Did you just say fucking rags?
yeah, the guy with like the furry dog, the
Oh
furry dog
my god.
YouTuber.
Coco.
He's like the guy that's like super duper gay, but is somehow super phobic at the same time. Make it make sense. Um,
I used to watch that fucker as a child.
uh,
Well, thank God I outgrew him, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening.
Kid me was such a
so yeah,
fucking
are you familiar with like the fandom menace?
the the movie, The Phantom Menace? What?
No, the fandom menace.
Well, fandoms can be a bunch of fucking
The
menaces.
fandom menace are basically like a
I don't
bunch
know
of
what it is.
YouTubers
Oh no, wait, you're explaining
who
it.
you know, are collectively known for like shitting super like they're all like YouTubers who like built their career off the back of like shitting on the sequel trilogy really hard. For in my opinion, pretty well, for some of them it's pretty valid reasons. For some of them it's like, oh, they put a black woman there, oh, they put an Asian, oh, stuff like that. So,
Oh, so they're anti woke.
Yeah, some of them are.
They have serious
I
contempt for
I
black
think
people and the LGBT community.
I think it's almost inarguable. Like, I feel like Mahler tries to deny this a lot, but there's no denying that like most of the members of his show tend to be people who are like right wing, like or like have a right wing. Because he like members like guests who come on his show are people like Nerd Erotic, who I'm sure you're familiar with, right?
No,
Uh, Geeks and Gamers,
no.
fucking who else? And then there's ER. Listen, I like watching ER, but I'm pretty sure
Ain't that like
ER
the TV
isn't.
show?
No. E semicolon R, the YouTuber who, uh, I think he got famous off of doing like a really, not famous, he got famous off of doing a really scathing critique off of The Legend of Korra and I think also the live action Death Note by Netflix. Um,
But well, the live action
I'm
Death Note does suck cocks,
I'm
but
pretty
like it's
sure ER, like as entertaining and
what is
funny as his content is, I'm pretty sure ER is a straight up Nazi. There's been some weird shit that got leaked about him from like Telegram or whatever. So yeah, I mean,
so.
EFAP
Let
is
me guess. He
basically
drops a
like
bunch of n bombs behind the scenes because he's a fucking coward.
I mean, sure, but uh, EFAP is basically like a podcast with like a bunch of movie reviewers, most of which generally tend to be like anti-woke, as you said,
I'm
uh,
about to
come
kill someone.
come together and they commentate over. I mean, sometimes they commentate over movies, but most of the time it's just them making fun of and commentating over other YouTubers' reviewers reviews. Um,
Oh, they're
so
not gonna like me then.
so if you're a reviewer, just know that there's like a it's pretty small, but there's like a possibility that one of these days they might commentate over one of your videos, especially if it's one where you're talking about if you're arguing that The Last Jedi in particular, because they feel really strongly about that movie, especially if you're of the opinion that The Last Jedi was good. So
I used to like it as a teenager, but now I just, it's,
yeah. So this EFAP
that's
member,
just
wait,
because I
hold
was a
on.
stupid little teenager.
I should probably stream this on my
See,
Discord
these
actually.
people hate Last Jedi because there's like women in it of
Well,
different races.
some of them do. But see,
No,
that's the
no,
problem. That's the problem with Mahler is that
is that he's a bitch.
he generally tends
They're
to
all fucking cowards, dude.
he generally tends to invite people on his show who like and dislike the same movies as him, but it's not often for the same reasons, and some of them like them for extremely stupid cultural reasons. So it's like, you know. But like nothing in Mahler's videos, because I used to watch Mahler's videos a lot, nothing in
Oh
Mahler's
shit,
videos
Abba
in
and Preach, dude.
particular seem to feature a lot of culture war bullshit. The only problem with
Wait.
Mahler's reviews is that it's like borderline cinema sins style content. So
Oh,
this person that we're watching here is a member
that's
of
not Abba
EFAP
and Preach.
called J Longbone. Um,
J Longbone.
yes, and
What
it
the hell
seems
kind of a
like
name is that? Then again, this is coming from someone who names themselves Nebs Shady! Exclamation point, just like Tracy Yardley.
yes, it seems like she's calling out ABBA and Preach for sweeping for Destiny because a couple weeks ago when Trump almost got shot,
Oh yeah, I
um,
remember that part. That was funny.
Destiny had some pretty colorful things to say about that. Um,
Colorful.
yeah. Um, like basically he said that he because somebody did get hit when they missed Trump, and he said that he basically doesn't feel sympathy for that person because that person is like, if we're keeping it simple, just by being a Trump supporter, that person is not deserving of sympathy. That was basically Destiny's take on that whole thing, and he went like he went pretty fucking hard. Um, you know, of course it was a controversial opinion because generally, uh, you know like not just like condoning attempts at political assassination, especially when like innocent bystanders are hit.
Yeah,
We generally condemn that in the strongest terms, and a lot of people
yeah.
took issue
I
with the
don't want to
fact
wish.
that
I wouldn't want to wish death over someone just cause they're a Trump supporter. I'd be like, yeah, that guy's a dick. Let's avoid him.
a lot of people took issue with the fact that Destiny wasn't really willing to condemn the shooting happening. Um,
Well, I would condemn the fucking shooting happening too.
yeah. Um,
Oh,
no, they took issue with the fact that he wouldn't, not that he would. Uh,
okay.
yeah.
So like,
So he
uh,
wouldn't. Yeah.
the bit about Bo DeMaio is all I wanted to talk about here,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So like, I didn't want to talk about no jacking off or something like that.
It stands for every frame of pause because there's a stream where they fucking watch they're a stream where they watch other people's videos and then they pause
It's a
and talk
fucking
over the
echo
video.
chamber of dudes who are afraid of sex. Come on,
Sure. Why not?
don't fucking sure me, Coco.
Anyways, you know what? Let's see what
Good
Jay
evening.
Longbone has to say about the
I
shit that Destiny
apologize for the
said.
way I'm recording this
Or
I won't
audio
see
ever
it.
right
I'm
be
out.
now. My
sweeping.
Bye
father's
guys.
visiting
Bye
and he's right
bye.
in the next
Bye
room and I'm
bye.
attempting to not be disruptive. So I converted to the douchey TikToker way to record
I hope
videos,
that my
which is to put
audio's
your
balanced
lapel mic
here.
up to your face and probably risk beatboxing on the microphone. But anyway, if you haven't heard, YouTube's beloveds, Abbott and Preach, came to the defense of their beloved
Nah, she
Destiny.
actually did them dirty there.
Stop ganging up on me! Who said some pretty awful things. Not surprising things, but awful things. Basically saying if you ever attend a Trump rally or if you are Trump yourself, that you support someone who incites violence or you incite violence yourself, being Donald Trump, and you kind of had what happened July 13th coming to you. Even going as far as pissing on the grave of Corey Compertor, the brave fighter who died protecting his family when the bullet missed Trump. Naturally, it didn't go well. The internet and just people at large don't like it when other people act like pieces of shit, and apparently us, the public, are being so mean that Destiny needs to be shielded by these two chocolated stud muffins. Let's just get into it because it's gonna be a
Alright.
bumpy ride.
I think the
Interesting.
only unfortunate thing about this whole video is that it might have been out of focus.
Foreshadowing more unfortunate events.
Today's topic, by popular demand, everyone wanted us to cover my girl Destiny.
That may seem like a very innocent thing to say, but considering the rant he goes on later, it feels like, are you trying to use that as like an excuse to make this video? like remember, we didn't want to do this. I mean, this is kind of your fault that we f***ed this up. I find it hard to
Alright.
believe you fired up the GoPro just because your fans demanded it. As if a guy I'm assuming you would call a friend.
Oh,
Assuming having a meltdown.
man, you know
over
the other thing I
internet
forgot to mention, when I guess Neb's already gone, but the one thing I forgot to mention talking about this is the fact that, a lot of members of EFAP seem to like taking their little pot shots at Destiny, and I always find it kind of amusing that that's the case, because Destiny himself actually does go on EFAP sometimes. Well, he's only been a few times. It's been a while since he last went on. And I actually do find it kind of amusing how, especially like ER loves shitting on Destiny a lot. And it's kind of funny how ER has never been on an episode that Destiny is. Am I accusing ER of ducking and diving? That's for you to infer, but listen,
It's just some random topic you weren't thinking about.
After the Trump
Okay.
nation attempt, in which I think someone else in the crowd ended up passing away from the bullet that missed Trump. A lot of people had a lot of things to say. A lot of people were talking about it. We were on vacation, so I didn't really give.
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
And also, I'm not American, so not my country, not my problem.
Get ready, everybody. He's about to contradict himself for 13 minutes straight.
Destiny made some comments, essentially laughing, didn't really care. If I could summarize everything in a very gleeful tone, he was saying, around and find out, which I hope is a pretty fair summation of what he was essentially trying to say.
A fair summation, but not a sane one.
If you're somebody who engages in violent rhetoric, as Trump does according to him, and if you're one of his supporters who supports somebody who's an insurrectionist who wanted to overthrow the government, suspend the Constitution, yada yada yada, I don't really care if bad things
Tucker
happen
in the
to you because you're
background?
the kind of person who encourages people to violence.
Is this like still image documentary style slideshow making anyone else laugh? They don't care about our politics.
That was a mistake, and he's like, I don't care. And he said so by making jokes, and a lot of people had a problem with it. They felt it was insensitive, it was disgusting, etc., etc. Is that a fair summation?
Nigga, no.
I saw some people saying he endorses assassination attempts, or he's saying people should. It's not what he said. From everything I've seen, and I'll probably post the clips of him talking about it, he hasn't said that.
He didn't say he wanted you dead, cried Captain Savaho. Only the reasons why your death may be justified, and that he doesn't care based on those assumptions. Totally different.
Get the dude, the firefighter guy, Trump, the people that support him. I just want you to know, okay? Just in case you're confused or it seems like I'm, you don't, whatever. If one of you were in the crowd and you're a conservative fan of mine and you end up, getting blown away or whatever I'm making fun of you the next day on Twitter. I am 100%.
Stop right there for a second. If you are a conservative Destiny fan, how the did you get this far?
A person in a crowd.
I gotta be honest, it's actually funny how Destiny had to qualify this a few times because he started to realize that it's a little bit unhinged to just say, like, conservatives generally. So, like, not too long after that, he ended up qualifying it by being like, oh, no, I mean, like, specifically if you're, like, a magatard. If you're, like, a magatard and you, like, attend, like, a fucking Trump rally or whatever, like from Destiny's point of view, you're someone who's basically supporting the potential end of the United States as we know it. And I mean, to be honest, it's funny because it really seems like Destiny was kind of dancing around saying that you deserve to die. Like, I mean, I know there was a few times where it was like, listen, I'm not encouraging people to go out and do it, but you know what they say about how an explicit, like the absence of an explicit discouragement of something can sometimes be like an implicit endorsement or encouragement of it. So, I mean, I don't know, man. That's up for you to determine. I think that shit was kind of unhinged, and yeah. Well, okay, because I know someone's gonna point it out. Yes, I have said in the past that sometimes people just need to get the shit beaten out of them. But that is a little bit different from actually killing someone. Like that's a little bit like, whoa, whoa, that's crazy, dog. Yeah, we don't encourage that. Um, I certainly don't encourage that. And to be clear, when I say stuff like that, it's usually when I'm in a very heightened state of mind, and like 5 hours after that, I usually don't stand by that, okay? I certainly wouldn't double down on it the way fucking Mr. Borelli is, okay? This shit's crazy. But like, yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, it's kind of funny because the thing about this whole thing that amused me the most is when I understand that Destiny said that he didn't answer this question directly because it would be like Fed posting or whatever. But the thing that like amused me the most was like Destiny's out here saying, "Yeah, if you like support Trump, I'm not gonna feel sympathetic for you because if you get like shot or whatever, especially at a Trump rally because you're supporting like a fascist who wants to end democracy in the United States." Uh, and then somebody asked him like, "Hey, if you think that Trump is like that much of a threat to like American democracy, what do you think people should do when Trump gets elected?" And I actually find it really funny because Destiny initially answered that question by saying, "Oh, well, I mean, people should obviously like peacefully protest first." And I'm like, and I'm over here watching like I think it was Lauren Southern who asked him that question, and I'm over here watching the debate like, bro, shut the fuck up. There's no way you actually believe that. Like, you basically believe, and I mean, looking at like the Project 2025 stuff, it's kind of a valid thing to believe if we're being real, but you basically believe that like that Trump wants to insert himself as a fucking dictator And when someone asks you, what do you think people should do if Trump wins the election, you answer they should peacefully protest, as if peacefully protesting would actually work. Like Trump is gonna be there like, oh yeah, the people are peacefully protesting my dictatorship. I guess they don't want me here, so I'm gonna step down from the presidency. Like, no, of course not. Like, it was a fucking retarded answer to give. And again, I understand that Destiny was trying to avoid Fed posting by basically saying, oh, well, in that case, everyone should just go to war with Trump's presidency and fucking whatever. But at that point, you just don't answer the question, period, instead of giving a stupid, retarded answer like peacefully protesting a dictatorship, because that would ever fucking work. I don't know. I just find it really funny that Destiny was willing to go like extreme on like the assassination, to give like extreme answers on that, but then when it came time to give an answer on what people should do if Trump actually gets elected, that's when he decided to that's when he decided to develop a more passive approach. It's kind of funny in my opinion, but
Supporting a traitor to this country caught astray, I'm so sad, please. As well as Donald Trump incited an insurrection and then was granted full criminal immunity for possibly all of his involvement. I have zero sympathy for anything that happens to him or anyone who supports him.
I thought you said he was joking, Abba. These comments right here, they look like stone cold statements to me, and attempts to legitimize the point behind the jokes instead of the actual jokes. If people are being little bitches about jokes and you were just joking, you would just try to be like, hey, look, I was just joking, like, f off. Shut up. But no, he's like, well, Trump is... Did you pay your editor this month?
Which you can still say is incredibly bad, but I just want to be accurate as possible.
I mean,
We're not accurate.
the whole thing with this is that when Destiny initially made his claim about this, he didn't like stake out that strong a position on this. But then when people, I mean, the opinion that he gave was still like somewhat controversial, because again, like I said earlier, instead of just like explicitly being like, yeah, the shooting was bad, he was like, yeah, I feel somewhat conflicted about this. And of course, everyone's gonna be like, how the fuck are you feeling conflicted about like attempted political assassination? Like it should just be full stop. It's bad, but like, yeah, he didn't stake out his claim as strong a position until afterwards. But you see, Destiny kind of has this thing where like as soon as a bunch of people start giving him shit for something, um, he like goes from 0 to 100 full tilt into the other direction. That's pretty much what the N-word arc was about, you know? Like it was the same with the N-word arc. It's the same with this. Like basically what I'm saying is that Destiny doesn't seem to be someone who does well under pressure, which is funny because you'll see Destiny do like 1v8 like debate panels. So you think Destiny's someone who does well under pressure, but no, clearly in some instances he doesn't do well under pressure. And as soon as he starts like getting shit for like an unpopular take, he goes from 0 to 100 nigga real quick and starts saying the most unhinged shit imaginable. So
Abba, that was the exact opposite of accurate, Abba. You said he was joking to downplay his comments, and
Oh,
then
wait.
showed his comments to be the exact opposite of jokes.
This illustrates my point, idiots.
Which you can still say is incredibly bad.
Oh, right.
Thank you for
I
giving
didn't
us
open
permission
my
to put
chat.
forward
Fuck's
tragedy
sake.
that's happening
Sorry,
in our country, which
tiny
you do not care about.
I'll say this, man. You know, sometimes y'all DM me or leave me comments. You like, oh, you afraid to talk about your girl? I don't give a. First off, you and anybody who think I got a problem with saying this shit. I ain't afraid of saying none of this stuff.
Oh, fuck. Wait, where is it at?
And I think a lot of you in the fan base have gotten very comfortable because you've seen that for a long time. We've covered trans women in sports.
No.
All this other stuff. So you think like we perfectly align with some of you on the far right where you guys are like, I don't believe in none of this. I'm not with you. I have no problem saying that.
Hey guys, the African Canadian unmarried promiscuous sex having lefty doesn't align with our values. What am I gonna tell my race realist friends?
Ugh.
Nigga, stop. You made thousands of far-right fans just from exhibiting basic common sense. Also, thanks for the implication that far-right people are the ones with the monopoly on basic common sense.
And if me saying that bothers you, you need to take a hike, okay?
Who you talking to?
Just because I made fun of dweeby liberals who go and
No.
want to have
I
safe spaces
fucked up my fucking chat overlay settings, for fuck's sake.
and do all this corny shit, it does not mean I'm some right winger who
No.
thinks all libs are bad, okay? If you can handle
No,
that, stick around.
no,
If you can't, that's
no,
none of my
no,
business.
no, no.
But don't ever think that I'm afraid to espouse what I'm thinking just to keep you around. I don't care. I'm gonna
Oh,
say my
no,
thoughts whether
no,
you leave or
no,
not, whether
no.
we go down 1,000,000 subs or not. I don't care.
You know, this video is just like the father chastising a child. He thinks he's cooking, but he's burning everything. You got Preach, who's like the 50s housewife, like, I just have to sit here and agree with this shit. I just gotta sit there and, like, I'm just...
No, no, no.
No, yeah, I wanted to start on something light.
Oh
but
shit, I did not mean to do that. Fuck. Okay.
Just to keep you around. I don't care. I'm gonna say my thoughts whether you leave or not, whether we go
It's
down 1,000,000
always
subs or
something
not.
with
I don't
setting up
care.
these
You know, this video is just
damn
like the father
streams.
chastising a child. He thinks he's cooking, but he's burning everything. You got Preach, who's like the 50s housewife, like, I just have to sit here and agree with this shit. I just gotta
Wait,
sit there and, like, I'm
not
just...
loading.
Just like, yeah, he'll drink a beer
It's
and
not
pass
loading.
out later. Like yeah, basically talking to their fans like children. Okay, that's
It's not
that's a way
load.
to stay up.
As far as what Destiny goes, I'm not bothered by it at all. Why? Because the way he talks is normal for American political
Oh
landscape.
fuck.
Okay, that is a very unhealthy way to think.
Is
You're
he wrong
complacent
though?
with shitty behavior because it's common?
Is he wrong though?
I mean, well, to you, it's common and normal. So I guess those 30 plus fresh and shit videos where you're whining about how horrible they are, that was just you accepting the cultural landscape? What about all the Ethan Klein videos and the Hassan videos? Why call out any of these people if you are indifferent? That makes sense to y'all? Honestly, I believe you don't grant all these other trogs your indifference because you haven't shared pussy with them. Abba's like, send me your finest white girls.
Jesus
and I will
Christ.
defend you in Maybe Hassan needed to take you to that.
You know, that's the other thing is that a lot of people from this side of the internet are really obsessed with that clip of ABBA dancing with Melina. I don't get it. There's been at least 5 videos from ER where ER plays that clip.
That brothel he was busted at. Or maybe Fresh and Fit could have given you one of their hookers or something. Maybe Ethan Klein will rent out his wife. Like
Oh,
Destiny
fuck.
used to rent out his... I don't know. I'm playing, but like that's the only
Okay.
explanation I have for this.
What the
Where
hell?
people say all kinds of stuff, including Trump himself. I've watched Trump say he wanted to punch protesters in the face.
And he's walking out, and we're not allowed, you know, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
So yeah, this is the first time I've ever done.
To be honest, the thing with this is that ABBA is not totally wrong in the fact that when it comes to American politics, they're like way more inflammatory and their language is way spicier. I don't know, man. The political climate in the United States is fucking crazy. Like, I mean, I was watching a debate, the Loner Box debate. Fuck, how do I fucking add this again? Here we go. I was watching the Loner Box debate on Hippy Dippy, where he prefaces his thing by saying, "Yeah, our politics are just like I'm British, by the way, for anyone watching. Our politics are just like more chill than American politics." And it's like generally speaking, that's like kind of true. And but I was thinking to myself like, after those race riots, we should probably give it like a couple of months before we can start bragging about how our politics are generally more chill. But to be honest, I say that, but is your politics being more chill like a good thing? Because it could just be a sign of the fact that people don't care as much as they should. Because if there's one thing you can say about Americans when it comes to American politics is that on both sides they're fucking passionate. You don't get that vibe of passion here in this side. Oh fuck. No. What'd I do? It's still not working. Oh, YouTube's not even on. What the hell? Okay. Great. Okay. You don't get that. You don't get that. But yeah, no. I mean, you definitely get the vibe that there things are a little bit more intense over there in Yankee land, okay, compared to here. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because it feels like people are more invested over there, and it feels like people aren't really that invested here. Uh, I don't know. But okay, I'm trying to test my fucking chat because no, no, no. Why is it not working? Huh.
Done a Trump didn't say that segment on my channel, but I'm glad this is the video to do it in. There's a very important detail right before that comment that they suspiciously left out. Some protesters pushed their way in and they started assaulting the attendees, and then security had to be brought in and take them down.
Bye-bye. Look, see, he's smiling. See, he's having a good time.
Oh. Well, it
I
responds
love
to
the
the
old
kick
days,
chat at least. So why
know
is
what I
it
hate?
not responding
There's a
to
guy totally
YouTube
disruptive,
chat?
throwing punches. We're not allowed to
Why is
punch
it not
back
responding to
anymore.
YouTube
Honestly, I
chat?
hate to see that. Here's a guy throwing punches, nasty as hell, screaming and everything else when we're talking. And he's walking out, and we're not allowed, the guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
So to attempt to make that seem like it was some really wild shit he said, you would have to deliberately lie about the situation, which you did. There was a visual aid right in front of you. Like, the title of the article is right there, and you said something different. Why'd you do that? It's almost like they're randomly pulling shit up in a crunch because they're really trying to hurry up and get ahead of the narrative so they can save Destiny from this ass whooping. Also, that quote, a good Democrat is a dead Democrat. For one thing, he didn't tweet or say that. He retweeted someone else saying that. And dude, I forget his name, I'll probably put it in post, explained what he meant by that. It was a metaphor, basically saying that their leftist or liberal ideals will die off and they will become reformed.
I've come to a place where I've come to the conclusion that the only good...
Not gonna lie, that's some hardcore cope if we're being real, because we're obviously living in a progressively more progressive world than a progressively more conservative one. But okay.
Democrat is a dead Democrat.
And like, let's be real, when he said that, there's no way that's the way that like most of the people who were like, cheering him on saying that, there's no way that's how most people interpreted that. There's no way that's how Trump interpreted that. I'm pretty sure when people were like agreeing with when he said that, they probably interpreted it in a pretty literal way. So like, let's let's not like pretend that there aren't like some crazy uh conservatards out there. Wait, is my fucking thing not working? Who don't agree with that sentiment. Oh shit, my mic. Is my mic not working? Oh yeah. Wait, what just happened to my mic settings? Oh no. Oh, actually my mic is working on OBS, but my mic isn't working on Discord. Why is that? Ah, it's always something with you, Discord. It's always something. Oh wait, no, it is working. What the? Okay, well, actually now I need to make sure that I am actually coming through on. Oh yeah, I am. Oh, okay, awesome. My stream is actually just really behind. Okay.
In the physical sense, and I can already see the videos getting edited where it says I want to go murder Democrats. No, I say that in the political sense because
Okay. Well, YouTube chat is just not working for some reason. Very strange.
Yeah, what he said was off color, and he should have maybe worded it differently so it would come off a little smoother. Maybe say the only good Democrat is a reformed Democrat. But see, whether or not the guy is bullshitting about his explanation is completely immaterial because you did not
Fuck.
share the explanation. You cut it out and made it seem like he just said he wanted to kill Democrats, which is not a good look. Now, if they had brought up the guy's explanation and said, well, yeah, his explanation sounds bullshitty, I would have been fine with that. I mean, maybe I still would have thought you were being kind of a jerk because you weren't, listening to the guy's explanation, but it still would have made it seemed like you were putting
Oh,
forth
well, I'm
some
not
kind
gonna
of
bother
effort
looking
to
into
be
this
transparent.
now.
But you didn't.
I'm
You
just gonna
kinda
fix
just
this
look like a
later.
liar. Oh, guys. Oh my god, guy, really? Cue the montage.
You've got David Duke just joined. A bigot, a racist, a problem. I'm not looking for...
David
Ah,
Duke and robocalls are out again.
ah, she's doing the thing. She's doing the thing. You know, you can like denounce all the white supremacists you want. That doesn't mean you're not not racist. Like, what is this supposed to prove?
Supremacist movement supporting you. Do you have any words for that?
Well, I disavow. David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right. I disavow. Okay? When we looked at it and looked at the question,
All
I
right.
disavowed David Duke. So I've disavowed David Duke.
Is my
all
YouTube
weekend
even
long on
connected
Facebook, on
to?
Twitter, and obviously it's never enough.
Trump's refusal to condemn
Is my YouTube even connected
The Anti-Defamation League
to
is
thing?
already out there asking the president to clarify why he didn't condemn white supremacists.
Oh wait, that's what I'm
So
logged
are you
in
prepared
on.
right now to make a clear and unequivocal statement renouncing the support of
Okay.
all white supremacists?
Of course I am. Of course I am. And they asked me the exact same question. I said, I disavow. I disavowed then. I disavowed today on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. I disavowed again. David Duke is a bad person who I disavowed on numerous occasions over the years. I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. I totally disavow the Ku Klux Klan. I totally disavow David Duke.
His campaign is denouncing a show of support from the KKK's official
I'm
newspaper.
actually surprised that clip of him denouncing the KKK didn't end with him being like, "But you want to know who did make the KKK? It was the Democrats." You know, that old that old classic talking point. Yeah.
As in the Ku Klux Klan.
Also, thanks to the Daily Wire for putting that montage together because it was going to really stress me out to look over the dozens and dozens and dozens of videos of Trump denouncing white supremacy.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know?
Yeah,
That's-
I mean, it was so disgusting.
That's
the
kinda
way
crazy.
He mocked the death of Pelosi's. Oh, wait, he's still alive. Oh, but he did make a joke about Gianforte brutally murdering a journalist.
Wait.
Oh, he's alive too.
Wait. That's stupid. The point is that he made a joke. Is she going to acknowledge that that he made a joke about the fact that Nancy Pelosi got physically assaulted with a fucking hammer? Are you gonna dismiss that just because they didn't die? Is that the logic that you're gonna use here? Like, oh, they didn't die, so it's like free reign to make fun of them getting attacked. Is that how that works now? I thought the whole angle with this was that we're trying to discourage like glorifying political violence. But I guess glorifying it and making fun of it is totally okay if the person didn't die. Is that what we're getting at? I hope that's not what we're getting at.
Destiny and others have essentially said is being a hypocrite
Oh,
in this situation.
it seems like it is because she didn't add anything onto that. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Tweeting out a screenshot of.
I mean, if anything, that kind of just proves Destiny's point because one of the points that Destiny was making when conservatives in particular were calling him out for what he said about the attempt on Trump's life was these are the same conservatives who like made fun of like Nancy Pelosi getting attacked, not Paul Pelosi getting attacked with a fucking hammer in his own home, like trying to moral fag about about him making fun of the attempt on Trump's life. It kind of does seem like there's a little bit of a double standard going on here, but who can say? Who can say? Okay.
Rubin memeing about hammer time after what happened to Paul Pelosi. Also linking to when Rubin wrote, here's hoping that AOC, Rashida, and Ilhan join Aaron Bushnell in his brave protest.
False equivalences, those were jokes. In order for us to have a conversation about what's moral and immoral to joke about, both sides of this argument have to be joking. Destiny wasn't joking.
I've already given you the honest answer. You just don't like it. The honest answer is I have no sympathy. I think it's kind of funny. Yes, that's my answer. You can try to ask that like 20 different times, but that's my answer. My position is so simple, and unlike you guys, I actually own it. So I don't know why you guys keep misquoting my position. It's so simple. If you support an insurrectionist and happens to you, I don't really give a f. And if the way you die is funny, I'm gonna laugh at it. That's my position.
Stop trying to gaslight us into believing he was. He wasn't. Destiny was speaking his mind with his whole ass concave chest. To compare these is disingenuous at best and manipulative at worst.
This is your playground. This is the sandbox that y'all created.
And how the would you know?
I'm not American. Not my country, not my problem. You want to condemn all this behavior, you guys go ahead.
Thank you.
But as an outsider,
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Jay Longbone kind of has ABBA there. To be fair, it's like you can't pull that card. ABBA has definitely talked about American politics a fair bit, so you definitely can't pull that card. Okay. If anything, I'm not gonna lie, I actually own the fact that I seem to have a lot of investment in American politics, because I'm just like, bro, America, like, culturally has a lot of influence over like the rest of the Western world. So like what happens in America actually does impact a person living in the fucking United Kingdom. So there is absolutely nothing wrong with me having some level of investment in like American politics. Bro, especially if you have like some level of investment in their foreign policy, because bro, their foreign policy impacts everyone. So like, yeah. So.
Platforms and you call people from the left snowflakes because they're acting a certain way. Yep. Now look at you, you're doing the same thing. Yeah. You guys are doing the same thing.
Yeah. Which you can still say is incredibly bad.
I love that a normal human response to borderline psychopathy is considered snowflake behavior now. Are you implying that right-wingers are the only ones who feel a certain way about this? Because that's not true at all.
She's not wrong about
Piers
that.
Morgan
she is right about
as
that.
far away from the right as you can possibly be, and he basically called Destiny inhuman.
You'd like to
How are you gonna make Piers Morgan your go-to for an example of someone who's not right-wing? Like, what she's saying is true, that there definitely is some attempt on the part of not just Abba and Preach, but even Destiny himself, to be fair, to make it seem like it's only conservatives that are like crying about this whole thing, when it's obviously not, because like one of the first people that Destiny debated about this was fucking Wick TV, who's definitely not a conservative. I'm pretty sure Wick TV is like a liberal or something. So pretty weird to try and make this like oh yeah, it's just conservatives, you know, bitching and moaning. But then you go to fucking Piers Morgan, who's like low-key a Trump dick sucker. Like, okay.
fire off as you've done so far in this debate about your fury at how disgusting Republicans are, how inhumane they are, and then you yourself actually are exactly the person that you're describing. You are inhuman.
People from every walk of life called him out. I mean, except for all of his simps and you two.
There's something up with that. How many times during the BLM protests were people talking about mowing them down or running them over, doing all kinds of violence? That was normal.
That was normal.
Could it have anything to do with the violence during the Summer of Love and rioting that racked up $1 billion of property damage? The tree on display here is immeasurable.
So don't sit here now and then act like somebody who doesn't care about the fact that a right-winger died is some big surprise to you. You know, that to me is a little bit pathetic.
What's a
ABBA.
That's Elon Musk pathetic.
Bruh.
All talking about, oh, I want to run a free speech platform. You're platforming everything under the sun, from to doesn't matter who it is, okay? You can even have the Ayatollah. He's up there, okay? They can spew whatever they want, anti-gay, anti-black, whatever. Destiny makes that joke, and then you want a pearl clutch? Bro, get him out of here. Get him out of here.
His mouth looked like a dirty toilet. It is a visual and therefore a visceral betrayal. Stop it.
He violated community guidelines, Cupcake. I'm not surprised you didn't know this. I figured from both of your speech patterns that you don't do much reading.
That's in it for kids who can't read good.
And he was only demonetized. So who cares? Oh, you don't like Elon Musk, but he's so quick to get a check mark and make money off Elon Musk. You want me to feel bad for him for monetization, which on principle he should not have because Elon Musk is not a desirable person? Fuck you think this is? Like, I know you don't want to upset him, so you can oil up his cheeks tonight. But he violated community guidelines. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that.
Now, if you want to say you're not okay with what Destiny said, I ain't got a problem with that.
This is actually really funny, man. It's just so funny to see how the tables have turned on this whole thing when it comes to guidelines on social media platforms. It's okay now because the person who owns the platform is the person who generally tends to agree with them, right? That's why it's like not that much of a problem because they know that they're not going to get banned for. I mean, to be honest, the stuff that they say does actually violate, because if you look at Twitch's guidelines, they haven't changed that much from before Elon bought Twitter. It's just that they don't actually moderate some of these things, even if they are in blatant violation of the Twitter guidelines. I mean, I think it's already been exposed that like there actually are like white lists for like certain like right-wing talking points on Twitter that shouldn't be banned, even if they are technically violating the terms of service of Twitter. I mean, Elon Musk could just change the terms of service, and then at that point, no one would really have the right to complain because, like, oh, the terms of service have just completely changed, and they say, oh yeah, calling black people the hard R actually is allowed now on Twitter. We're turning Twitter into 4chan. But I think the reason why Elon doesn't do that is probably because it would just make Twitter look even worse than it already does, if that's even possible.
This is the biggest amount of pearl clutching I ever seen from most of these people.
In Canada, words mean nothing.
You can say it's bad behavior because at the end of the day, it's bad from everybody. Destiny's just engaging more with the bad. But do I actually care that all the people, all the pigs playing in the mud look like pigs? No.
Is it bad behavior? Yeah. Do I care when it's both sides? No.
I rest my case.
He said everything right there. I don't care when it's both sides. I only care when it's one side. And we all know which side that is. Destiny's asshole.
And I know this video is going to be unpopular with a lot of you. I also don't care.
I had a whole bunch of people ask me to give my take on Abba and Preacher's comments on the Destiny fiasco because apparently it was quite the doozy. So much so that they changed the pin of shame 3 times since the audience kept on roasting them for their BS opinion. Great lesson there for people. Pins don't help unpopular takes, it just amplifies them.
Gotcha. Don't ever think that I'm afraid to say what I'm going to say because it makes some of y'all upset or makes that. I don't give a shit.
Don't ever think I won't humiliate myself for another chance at Destiny's oiled ass crack because I'll cry.
Is he my friend? Sure. Am I biased because of it? Probably.
Probably.
But honestly, when I sit back and think about it, and even when I talk about it with my people, none of them really disagreed that heavily.
So your circle of friends didn't disagree with the way you handled the derangement of your other friend.
Well, maybe that's the problem.
And all of this talk about, oh, you guys are afraid to talk about I don't give a shit. I'm not American. That's your problem.
You know what?
Key genocide is y'all's problem.
I just realized something. So Jay Longbone is actually trying to like frame this entire video as though like Abba is like a Destiny dick rider. And you know, a lot of orbiters sometimes are. But I don't know if I would make that accusation of ABBA. They've actually had some pretty intense arguments about some stuff on the stream. Granted, okay, to play devil's advocate a little bit here, those disagreements didn't have to do with Destiny himself and Destiny's own conduct. So it's actually very possible. It's possible, okay? It's possible. But I tend to disagree. I don't know.
Your country, right? I generally don't talk.
I guess we just have to. Well, okay. Here's the thing. I was about to say we'd have to see Destiny do something like exceptionally fucked up, and then see how ABBA would react in that scenario. But like, one thing I feel like a lot of people really don't. Because I remember seeing the video where Rollo Tomasi was like, "Oh yeah, this shit would fucking destroy Destiny's career. Like Destiny's career is gonna like fucking implode and completely fall apart from this. People who say stuff like that, they obviously don't know who Destiny is, because like I don't think a lot of people really understand that people like to watch Destiny specifically because of the fact that he can fly off the handle and say unhinged stuff like that. If anything, and I'm like somewhat active in like the DGG space, so I actually know this to be true. When Destiny is like trying to be more civil or like basically more controlled in his behavior, a lot of his own fans complain about how that shit is low key kind of boring, which is actually part of the reason why I sometimes say that, like, you know, Destiny's fan base is actually his own worst enemy because they actually encourage him to, like, I mean, it's kind of like the Vosh take, and I know Destiny resented it when Vosh made this implication, but like DGG low-key encourages Destiny to like give into like his most toxic traits because when he gives into those traits, that's when you get the most entertaining content out of him, and it's I mean, listen, it do be more entertaining when he's going that route, but I'm just saying that like because of the fact that people watch Destiny specifically for his negative traits, which is to say that it kind of leads to this weird thing where people also have like a lot of DGGers hold Destiny in very high regard, obviously, but at the same time, they obviously have like very low standards for him as a person in terms of how he should behave, because him essentially behaving like a shitty person is what makes his content entertaining. Like that's pretty much it. Um, so when he acts that way, it's not going to turn very many people off. In fact, one of the things that's kind of interesting is, like the whole lefty arc thing. If you talk to certain lefties about why they stopped watching Destiny, a lot of them will tell you that it was because of his personality and how aggro he can get. But honestly, the more I think about it, the more like obvious it is that that's not the case because I really think it's just the fact that Destiny started targeting that part of his personality towards other lefties. Because I mean, while I'm personally of the opinion that Destiny definitely was more chill early on in his career, despite most people saying otherwise, Destiny always kind of had that like disrespectful, edgy, aggressive side to him. It's just that he was disrespecting and humiliating conservatives, so it was fun to watch because you got to like you as a lefty got to like live vicariously through him doing that. And I know it has to do with who he targets his anger at because when Destiny started targeting his anger at conservatives again in the wake of the Trump shooting, you had all like these communists and socialists on Twitter, including like Keffels and all these people like throwing their weight behind Destiny and being like, "Oh my God, Destiny's being based again. Oh my God, Destiny's back. 2016 Destiny." And it's like, Jesus Christ. So it had nothing to do with him being an asshole. It just had to do with who he was being an asshole to. So basically, what I'm trying to say is never take a leftist seriously if they say that the reason why they don't like Destiny anymore is because of his personality. It has nothing to do with his personality and who he's aiming it at. I mean, it's kind of the same with conservatives, to be honest, because like conservatives, I remember when Destiny went like full mask off against conservatives, and it resulted in that thing with like him fighting like Adam and Sitch or whatever, and like you had all these conservatives like attacking Destiny in his comments because Destiny had like sort of built up a tiny bit of like a conservative fan base because Destiny had built up a sort of he had sort of built up like a career as being like the quote unquote one reasonable lefty on the internet amongst conservatives. So when he went like super hard against conservatives just a little bit that one time, a lot of conservatives were pissed. So like a lot of the time it doesn't have anything to do with his personality, it's who he's aiming it at. Like I don't know, man. I have a feeling that like if an attempt was made on like Biden and some like lefty guy who was at the rally was shot and for some reason or another Destiny was like making jokes about that, I don't think he would because it's the guy he supports. But like let's say hypothetically he did, because they had like some insane commie takes or whatever on their Twitter. I don't think these same people who are like moral frogging about Destiny making fun of that firefighter would be doing it. Because they'd be like, yeah, that person was like a cringe commie on Twitter who was talking about giving puberty blockers to kids, you know, or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. But the point is, kind of circling back, way back, Destiny's career is obviously not going to implode from him behaving like this because the people watch him specifically because he behaves like this. So it's weird because when you see people like Rollo Tomasi say that shit, like they're just obviously not aware of like who Destiny is. I don't know. I mean, it might be like a little bit more difficult for Destiny to become mainstream and have like you know, enter all these spaces he was entering as of recently. What, like he went on Fox one time? That shit was kind of crazy. Um, that's probably not going to be happening anymore. I mean, he's still being invited by Pierce Morgan, which is kind of cool, I guess. But for the most part, like, I actually think Destiny's one of those people who's basically uncancelable because Destiny doesn't even try to like maintain any semblance of a clean image of himself. And if you're that type of person, that basically means that people who start watching you are people who know everything that you're about, meaning that people can try and bring up like anything about you. It's not going to work unless it's something that people didn't already know. Like say revealing that he was still sexting Anavar. That was like the kind of shit that was like kind of shocked a lot of people because like, whoa, okay, that shit's kind of crazy. But like generally speaking, yeah, I don't know.
Presidential
Not that
elections in
bad.
other countries. It's not my place.
Yeah, but you like commenting on everything else about our country and making money off of our engagement. That you're fine with. And also you contradicted yourself because you do honestly care about U.S. politics because you're talking about it in this video.
You wanted it, you got it. Now you're unhappy with it. Door's right there.
Could have just not made this, you punk bitch. I don't know what Destiny could possibly have on you to debase yourself for 13 minutes. When you didn't need to, you could have just been like, look, he f***ed up. When friends f***ed up, I'm there for him, but I do not condone their behavior. And people would have been like, yeah, that's a good take. I'm with that. Okay. But no, you made a video where you're lactating for 13 minutes.
You can't talk about freedom of speech, but then when it's not aligned with what you're thinking, you say, oh, you can't say stuff like that. That's not what freedom of speech means,
bro.
Freedom of speech actually means that the person that disagrees with you have the right to say it.
Yeah,
they have the right to say it. And depending on what they say, there's consequences, but they have the right to say it. Go ahead, say it.
There comes a time in all forms of media consumption where you are so utterly bewildered by an event taking place that there are so many things wrong with it that you don't have words and you simply laugh.
People have the freedom to
Mahler
speak,
cameo.
and people also have the freedom to criticize speech with their speech. Freedom of speech covers both sides of an argument, not just the side that lets you f their wife.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are it's pretty. You can disagree with what someone and the politics of someone. It's always going to be wild when you're gonna.
Come on, try getting it out. Try getting it out.
Is Destiny dead? What the f is... Did he die? Like in memoriam. He died the way he lived. Loud, wrong, and a cuck. This nigga had nothing to say most of the video. And what he did say midway through contradicts everything Abel was saying.
You're all morons!
I'm not really gonna touch on the rest of this. Most of it is just like preach, babbling about some shit. And then they get more details wrong and make more false equivalences. Instead of just letting your friend take the L and let him take the hits. You took a hit. For him, like he's gonna come out scot-free. The fan base he has cultivated. They worship any thing he says. But your fan base, they're not really political like that. It's more of a general audience.
She's
And
not
they're
wrong
gonna
about
see right
that.
through this. All the comments in the comments
She's
section
not
of this
wrong
video
about
are
that.
negative. They saw right through this. And this
Okay.
is why I've always hesitated subscribing to them. Sometimes they just...
I understand that comedy is just like a drunk uncle at Christmas. It's funny until he touches you. But at the end of the day, you're a big hypocrite.
And you're a liar because you're making false equivalences so you can defend your white leftist buddy who honestly would not piss on you if you were on fire. Let's be real. Minorities, black people, people of color, whatever you want to use, and white leftists are not a good mix. We were warned about this several decades ago. Destiny even said himself that if it had been a family member, a friend, or whoever who stepped out of line politically, who ended up at a Trump rally because they were supporting him or whatever, and they ended up dead, he would not give a shit.
You were asked on that clip we played earlier if you'd have the same attitude if it was your parents who'd been killed at a Trump rally. And you replied, it's less end-of-life costs for me. Would I lose sleep over it? No. Do you understand how grotesque that sounds?
That was pretty unhinged from.
It sounds grotesque, but the environment that we're in right
That
now.
was pretty unhinged from Destiny, bro. Like, Destiny should have said something like, well, it'd be regrettable, and obviously I'd be upset, but I mean, when you're supporting, like, I mean, there's even just saying but would be like, fucking hell. But, like, I don't know, you should have said something like that, and then it should have been like, oh, but when you're supporting a literal fascist, and a lot of people unironically believe it's going to be the end of democracy, or blah blah blah. Don't be surprised if you get your brains blown out. I just feel like the only problem with saying shit like that is like people on both sides of the political spectrum can say that because it's like, I mean, conservatives, for example, are like, oh, these people are coming for our kids. They want to mutilate our kids. We need to like fucking go to like Planned Parenthood and blow it the fuck up. Like, do you understand how weird it is? Like, the reason why we generally don't tend to like normalize political violence is because it's not just going to be like, or justify or defend political violence is because it's not just going to be like a one-sided thing. Um, if you're like truly like an empathetic person, like even if you don't necessarily agree, you can very easily see why people on the opposing side would also think that political violence is justified on their end. But like this is part of the reason why you shouldn't like normalize it at all, because people are basically just waiting for the chance to retaliate. And it's it's crazy. Okay, it's not a coincidence, okay, that these riots, these race riots here in the UK happened like 2 weeks after another set of riots happened in Leeds, okay? That's all I have to say about that, okay? I do not condone those riots. Of course I don't. I'm fucking black. That shit's insane. But like, it's not a coincidence, okay? This is why we try to discard, because as soon as political violence starts happening on one side and you defend and justify it, people are going to be like, oh, so the terms of engagement have changed. So that means we can now engage in political violence and blah, blah, blah. So,
is grotesque.
So yeah, you want to defend your boyfriend. When he wouldn't go this hard for you, step out of line once and see how fast he turns on you. He said he would. And you have the nerve to call your fan base and other people watching this pathetic because they have the correct emotional response to what your friend said? Like, if this was anybody else, you would say, this guy's close to shooting something up. This guy is close to doing something very dangerous. This guy is not right in the head.
Destiny knows that he is visibly shaking. You can see it. Look at the chair. It shows vibrations in his arms. It shows that beneath his rationalization, his subconscious knows that something is off. You can feel it in your words when you're not on firm footing.
Like, if you were truly his friend, there wouldn't be a
over analysis
and be like, look, bro, what you did.
This reminds me of those that reminds me of those charisma on command videos where like the person is like analyzing the behavior. I mean, listen, there's some truth to some of it, I suppose, but just over analysis. That's all I can say about that. Okay.
You are having issues. You're clearly unwell. You're clearly having a hard time because of maybe a recent divorce, and you're taking it out on people you should not be taking it out on. You need to take a step back from social media and sit your ass down somewhere. That's what a real friend would do. They would not try to capitalize off their friend's clear mental breakdown and then blatantly lie and gaslight to support him. Mocking a guy for protecting his family and risking his life in the process because he votes differently than you. That is a cry for help. But see, because he's a famous leftist, he can do that and no one will question it. You won't even question it. Everyone else is the problem. Everyone else is sick. Everyone else is violent. It's everyone else. One day, and I hope I'm not being prophetic, y'all gonna regret being his friend. It may be today, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. Week from now, year from now. But y'all gonna regret it. Y'all should have regretted it when he said what he said, but y'all tolerate that. Imagine simping and destroying your credibility for something.
You want to know the craziest thing about that? About her saying that is that if we're being real, there's a possibility that's probably true, because how many friendships has Destiny had with other content creators that have actually lasted? So, like, is she wrong though? Is she wrong? Yeah.
Destiny. Like, couldn't be me though. Oh my god. But then again, I'm not Canadian, so. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment for the algorithm, like, subscribe, do whatever pleases you. I'm going to bed because this video, like, every time I watch it, it gives me a headache, and I need to go.
Alright, let's take a look at what the comments under this say. I bet these comments are interesting. I bet like 95% of them are just going to be people calling Destiny a cuck. I can't imagine Jay's dad in the next room. What in the world is she doing in there talking about Destinies and ABBA and Peaches? If all of your friends drove blah 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 blah, this is completely unrelated. No one believes Destiny was joking besides that. I mean, Destiny definitely, like, I mean, he wasn't joking. I don't, it seems to me like Destiny was being pretty sincere about, I mean, that's like the one thing that Jay Longbone said in this video that's probably true. I mean, he definitely wasn't joking. It seemed to me like he was being pretty sincere about the fact that, he doesn't really feel sympathy for if you are a conservative, MAGA-tard, Trump supporting motherfucker. If you get your brains blown out, he won't feel a shred of sympathy for you. And yeah, I mean, that part definitely wasn't a joke. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. We here at Tamika Draw Streams do not condone political violence and yada yada yada, okay? We don't do that. Shit's crazy. L political violence, L destiny. Okay. All right. Anyways,
Today's video comes.
I saw this video earlier. I didn't watch much of it. It was a video talking about how Asmongold's pretty unhealthy habits might be contributing to him having poor underlying health conditions. And holy shit, I'm just over here like, listen, I'm not the healthiest person in the world, so. Well, I mean, I haven't been so unhealthy that I've been rushed to the hospital, and my home environment generally tends to be more clean than Asmongold's, but my eating habits could use some work. No lie. I can't lie. But
From a good friend of the show, Asmongold. All right, our favorite Negromancer, our favorite soda drinking, room smelly.
I don't know why,
shower.
but in that picture he kind of looks like a discount Willie Mac. It's probably just that he has short hair.
Taken. Booty cheeks reviewing. World of Warcraft player.
I guess I can probably just like say, I kind of don't want to hide it a whole lot. Is like, so I've been having problems. Like I remember the day that I ended my stream early. So I went to the emergency room that day, and because I felt like uncomfortable, like a discomfort in my chest. And so they did an EKG on me, and like they did all this stuff, and they said that I was okay, but my blood pressure was very high.
Because of all the salt in that beef jerky.
What did he eat? He was eating beef jerky and soda. That was his diet. And what did you say?
Yo, it's fucking first must be ranked, man. Just straight.
I don't care how old I get. For some reason, I feel like I'm gonna be an old geezer, and fart noise is gonna make me laugh. All right,
those juicy ones.
All right, let's.
It's those juicy beef jerky and Monster. Yo, that shit is dank, my G.
All right, yeah. But wait, are you trying to say he's unhealthy? You're trying to say he's unhealthy?
Yeah.
but he's skinny.
It doesn't matter.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I've seen some skinny crackheads.
You say he a crackhead?
Oh yeah, he's a game crackhead, but still a crackhead.
Got you.
A game
He has
crackhead.
the diet of one.
You don't? Do you ever see him try salad?
No.
Not gonna lie, that would be me. That would be me trying to eat a salad. I can't even lie. I can't. I mean, I can eat coleslaw. I like coleslaw, but like, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that. Yeah. Yo, he's really struggling with that set. Holy shit. Nah, he's playing it up. He has to be playing it up. Bro's never eaten a vegetable a day in his life.
You fucking toddler. You animal chicken nugget eater.
I don't know what that even means.
Like kids, they have chicken nuggets in the shape of animals sometimes. But he has a diet of a toddler. I want mac and cheese. I want.
And his parents confirmed.
I want curly fries.
So his parents confirmed that he's never ate a salad his whole life since he was a kid.
It was like because I've actually been
Fucking hell.
I've had very bad stress problems a lot. Like the point and like my policy is that. What do I do when I'm scared? What do I do when I'm anxious? What do I do in anything? I'm upset. I'm sad. It's very simple. I fucking ignore it and I keep going no matter what. But I was worried that it was that it's killing me, and I'm concerned that it might be, and so I've had to dial back a lot of the stress. And so I've had to deal with this, and like my blood pressure was in like the 170.
Who's pinging me?
How high is that? Was high? I don't know. So you teach me.
It's systolic, and that systolic is supposed to be like someone normal would be like 80 over 120.
Okay.
170. Now good.
Do you know what you're at risk for? Like,
oh, you're at risk for like aneurysm. Like that's when your blood vessels they just burst in your head.
Okay.
The high blood pressure they call it the silent killer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Basically, high blood pressure is that. It says it itself. Your pressure in your blood, in your veins and arteries and everything is too high. Think about it like you have a hose, and the pressure is too high. You can't plug a garden hose on a city fire hydrant. Because the pressure is too high. You're going to burst that
hose.
You're going to burst that hose.
Man, that is a good metaphor.
And then, so that's what happens. So you have the pressure of a fire hydrant, but you have the blood vessels of a garden hose. Mm-hmm. So your shit might rupture anytime. So the pump that's pumping all that blood in your body, which is the heart, it's hard for your heart to contain all that pressure. So that could be a problem with your heart. It could create heart problems. It create vessel problems. It create headaches and stuff like that. When you have headaches, it's because all the blood is so tight in your veins and stuff like that. So that there's you're at risk of a lot of things.
It was really, really bad because of how stressed out I've been. And so that's why I haven't been streaming as much for like a number of days. 1 day, 7 days. So I just had a nosebleed. And so I thought to myself, oh my God, because that's an indicator of a stroke or like a heart attack.
What the fuck? Wait.
And so that's why I went downstairs.
Is that true? Holy shit. Oh no. Guys, I might have to see my doctor. I mean, I'm kind of joking when I say that because that shit happened to me like 2 years ago. There was like this one time for like a week straight where I wasn't having like nosebleeds. It was more like I had to keep like pulling out blood clots from my nose. It was really disgusting. I'm not entirely sure what caused it, but it stopped after like a week. So I probably should have gone to my doctor about that, to be fair, but I mean, like most of my friends know by now, I basically procrastinate on every single health issue that I should be talking to my doctor about. Like this fucking eye thing. Jesus Christ. This is actually part of the reason why I stopped using a webcam and started using a VTuber instead, so that you guys don't constantly see me wiping the fucking waterfall that is my eye. Ugh.
My blood pressure in to make sure that I was okay. And I checked my nose and I found it was actually, I was just picking at my nose the wrong way. And it seems like I'm the wrong way. And it seems like I'm.
That's disgusting.
C'est un cochon. C'est un cochon marron.
Ok.
Cochon malade, va.
Ok.
Et c'est pas la haute pression. Je fouille dans mon narine et de la mauvaise façon. Coupe ton ongle. T'es fucked up, G. T'es un bon fucked up, toi.
Ok.
Cochon sale,
Ah.
salope, va et paille, va nu-pied, chien d'homme. Oh, je ne fouillais pas dans mon nez de la... Va y chercher son mouchoir, bah ouais, foot.
Don't translate that last part where he was kind of going crazy.
So that's the reason why. And I've been exercising every day now, and I've changed what I was eating too already, and I'm probably going to have to schedule an appointment with my doctor about this to make sure that I'm okay. Because it was really weird that I had like that feeling. That's heart attack level? Yeah, it is. But I just checked it. It's not anywhere near that. It's like 135, which is like, that's not great, but it's not also, you know, like worrisome, right? 135 is still high. Panic attack. Yeah. Cardio will help for this. Yeah. And that's exactly what I've been doing. And so that's the reason actually why I've been doing shorter streams. I don't really want to talk about it a lot. I don't like to talk about that kind of stuff because it just, I think it invites a lot of like parasocial stuff. But, you know, since I've had to end stream early a few days and like it's still fucking with my head. Like oh God. Oh Jesus. Yeah, and so that's really it. You start eating healthier, it's catching up to you, bro. I think it's honestly stress more than anything else. Like it's really just stress.
All right. Well, no. And this is where you have to talk about it on stream, okay? And there's a very particular reason. I don't think you've been endorsing it or trying to tell the people to do it, but you've been very open about sharing about how degenerate your life is, okay? And I've been very supportive. If you want to share your degeneracy, go ahead. That's your business. That's fine. But when there's potentially very negative impacts of that degeneracy, you have to showcase that too. All right? You cannot just showcase the fun and like, I get the free time. That's irresponsible. I don't think you have to play some kind of role model, but at the end of the day, when you are sharing your lifestyle and these things, you are inherently promoting it. You are sharing the things that you're doing with the world. And I think if you're gonna do that, don't stop halfway. Either do it properly or don't do it at all, okay? Because then you're essentially telling your viewers, like, or you're setting the example for your viewers that, like, listen, if you do the things I do, like, you never know. Even if you say things otherwise, just the way you live every day, that's gonna play a part. I think it's good to have this conversation, and I think your audience is right. Your diet definitely plays. Anybody who eats disgusting foods knows that when they stop eating disgusting foods and they eat better shit, you feel clearer. Your memory is better. Energy levels are better. You're seeing you're stressed. Your stress is not just a mental response to situations. It's also a physiological response to the things that you eat. To think that your body's not catching up to you. Listen, black people are the perfect example. How many niggas do I know who throughout their whole teen years and their early adult life were eating nothing but McDonald's and soda every day? Now, there's reasons for that.
Oh shit, I'm feeling personally called out by that, LOL.
They did, and they were always in shape. They were some of the best athletes, and guess what happens?
30 happens.
30 happens.
30, your metabolism stops. Well, it doesn't stop, it slows down.
So these guys with God-given genetics, where they could eat anything under the sun and they would never get fat, they'd have six-pack abs. They hit 30, their bodies change like this. They age super fast. They start having heart attacks. How many black people do I know who have had heart attacks before the age of 45? Why? High blood pressure, poor dietary choices, all these different
Pork
things,
chops.
diabetes that they've inherited or they've gained themselves. These food choices are going to fuck anybody up. There is nobody that's immune. We just convince ourselves we are because, you know, you've stayed skinny for a long time and you've made it work. It's going to catch up with you, and it's catching up with you right now, and you're in denial. You're a bit in denial. Now, I haven't seen the whole video, so it might change. But I'm saying this, I've seen it from so many guys who look fine, who walk around and they drop dead from a fucking heart attack before the age of 45. Why? Because they wanted sodas every day.
because they had
Like,
their name written in a
it's really
notebook.
just stress.
No.
And it's a lack of exercise, and so I'm
Yeah, I'm not
going
gonna lie.
to
I'm just watching this
exercise and
video
stress
and I'm
out.
thinking to myself like, yeah, this video kind of feels like one long call out, and it's kind of making me think about how I need to start hitting the gym, but I'm also like low key too lazy to actually do it. You know, it's crazy because on the subject of eating too much, I don't have high metabolism, so when I eat a lot of junk food, I actually put on weight, and it's crazy how recently I dropped down from like 100 kg to like 97, and my mom's like, "Oh, you're looking good, you're losing weight." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm still fat as fuck. Remember not that long ago, like 2 years ago, I was like in my 80s, and not that long before that, I even dropped down to 70. I mean, admittedly, it's because I got a deadly virus called, wait, actually, I am not allowed to say that virus's name, but, you know, but like, shit, man, dropping down from 197." That's like going from like terrible to like really bad. I still don't understand how I put on as much weight as I do because I guess you know what? I was gonna say I don't eat that much, but even if I don't eat that much, if I'm eating food with high calories, then it doesn't matter how much I eat because at the end of the day, I'm eating food especially since I'm not that physically active, it doesn't matter how little I eat. I'm still gonna put on weight. Uh, It's too difficult to be like a standard, basic, mid-quality human being. Why did God design us to have to put in so much effort to be healthy? Fuck. Anyway,
And try to be stressed out less. Like, cause it was weird that stress is an insidious killer. I know. Could be hypertension. It is, yeah. And so that's been the position that I've been in, and yeah. I've been trying to just be on and, stream as much as I can and everything, and say fuck it, it's fine, but I don't want to kill myself, right? Which is weird, right? Because like I've tried very hard to like kind of move away from like being afraid of like dying and like all that stuff, but man, that day I realized that like holy fuck, like I was scared,
that's
man.
weird.
I really was.
This is the thing I hear from people that I meet online all the time.
You don't have to be like so scared. You don't have to be like so not scared of dying that you end up being like ignorant of like when you start having health issues. Like, I don't know, seeing your doctor about having health issues or whatever doesn't necessarily mean you have a fear of death. I don't know. Does wanting to continue living mean you have a fear of death? I don't know. Are those necessarily the same thing? Who knows? That sounds like a weird, like, philosophical debate, and I'm not really equipped for that sort of thing.
Very casually talk about death and how they're like fine with it. And I question these people because I'm like, I don't know what you've been through in your life, so I don't want to speak too confidently. But the more you speak, the more I feel like you don't really have much of a relationship with death. People are so flippant about it. Oh, this. And then they come to the terms where like they almost face a car accident or they get robbed at one point, and you see how much they fight to live.
Yeah.
They fight to live.
You say you don't care about death until you poo-poo-soo.
What does that mean?
Yeah, shit your pants.
They're on
dookie on yourself.
They're on some Nico Robin type shit.
Your pantaloons.
Where Nico Robin's just like, yeah, kill me as long as you don't kill my friends, and then you get that epic, I want to live. Only it's not so exciting. It's not so exciting as that. Anyways, go watch Ennie's Lobby is basically what I'm trying to say.
Hey, when that shit happens, all that cute thing, all that cute shit you was talking about, I ain't never scared, yeah? Okay. And then that shit happened, it hits you real quick. Oh my God, we almost, yeah.
If you've never watched someone pass on, you really shouldn't speak on this.
I ordered protein bars, and we're drinking water now in between soda, and we've got to make some improvements. We've got to make some improvements.
Well, listen, it's improvements.
It is.
Okay, nobody just goes from just eating trash. So water, protein bars, cool. I support it.
That's it. And so that's where we're at. That's pretty much about it. So I don't want to talk about it a whole lot more or anything like that. It's whatever. Open a Gatorade. I actually did get Gatorade. I got Gatorade as well. Yep, there we go. And yeah, I'm gonna change my diet and eat a little bit differently because I don't want to have.
In your mind, that the healthy option is Gatorade. Your parents have failed you miserably, but all throughout your adult life, you failed as well.
To me, this is no less sad than when I see a morbidly obese person just eating away their life, getting really excited because they see a new box of Twinkies. I know people laugh at these people. I literally just feel sad. That's what I think when I see this. You know when you see those kids that are fat before 7? This is no different. And listen, I'm not going to talk about nobody's parenting. It is what it is. That's your life. It is fucking sad. I don't care what nobody says, but people got diabetes before they're even 19 because their parents fed them trash. When you've been set on this road and then you've kept that road, like, yes, you have some mentality. I just think all of it is sad, okay? And if you guys are watching at home, take control of your lives. Being obese fucking sucks, okay? Take it from somebody who's lost a good 55 pounds already, okay? It is fucking trash. It is. I don't care what nobody says. I love, there's no way. Okay?
Health at every size, body positivity.
Bro, that shit sucks, okay? And being so skinny, I've been so thin before that I had a lung collapse, okay? And if you don't know what that's like, I pray you never find out. Okay, when you are gasping for air and it is difficult to breathe and that's hours long, okay, I hope none of you ever experience that.
It's like if you're running around the block and then you try to breathe through a straw.
No, I'll explain exactly what it's like. Try to take a breath, and I chop your neck right every time you even start taking a breath. Every breath is like that. It is. Breathing is so innate in us, you can't even imagine what it's like to not be able to breathe. So, and that's for hours.
The panic is crazy.
And that's the worst thing you could do in that moment, because if you panic, you raise your heart rate like crazy.
And you need more oxygen.
And then you need more oxygen, right? So I had to literally sit there and be like, I had to literally mentally tell myself to calm down just to make it through. It is a frightening thing. And if you don't believe me, this can happen. It's called spontaneous pneumothorax. Okay? Now, this happens to people with certain conditions and people who are incredibly thin. They don't know the reason why, but it just does. Okay? Don't do what I do. Go to the hospital right away. Okay? I'm a fucking retard. Absolutely. Learn from me. Do not do what I do. Okay? Because it could end, and it ends terribly for a lot of people. So
have to go on medication. I think that the first thing, people that go on medication die. In my opinion, like I think that like there's all these times, like I know people that are like younger than me and they have 5 different medications. That's terrifying, absolutely fucking terrifying. And so I want to do whatever I can to like be able to like overcome it physically myself. I think that the human body is made to last. It's made to endure. And I'm 34, right? And so like it's gonna be a while, right? I've been alive for a while, and a lot of my friends have already had a lot of issues, and so I think it's the stress, and I've been like not getting a lot of sleep in a lot of days too, with like anxiety.
I can speak to this personally. People talk about stress, anxiety. Your food's part of that equation. There's no way around it. You will feel a complete 9-day difference if you spend 2 weeks eating cleanly. It takes some time for your body to kind of get over the sugar highs and lows and all that other shit. But a lot of your lack of sleep, a lot of this stuff, a lot of it's just linked to diet too. Choices, sure, gaming on a chair every day, not the greatest, no cardio, horrible for your health, right? All these things are factors. It's almost cyclical too. You don't feel good about yourself. So what do? You run to foods that are bad for you. Then they give you a temporary high that make you feel miserable in the long run. And then because they make you feel miserable in the long run, you put
this video is literally just one massive call out of me, and I'm feeling like shit. I'm like, oh bro, I need to stop watching this.
Less effort, you walk outside less because you feel bad about how you look. Then you don't eat good foods because you don't want to go take the time to go get the groceries.
For me, it's not so much walking less because I feel bad about how I look. For me, in my case, it's that I put on so much weight that now going out to walk is like a total chore because my back starts screaming at me within like 10 minutes of me being outside. Like, it's actually funny because this is part of the reason why I want to get a bike to exercise as opposed to like having to jog instead because I literally don't think I even can jog. Like, I'm almost like, I feel like I have to start out with a bike. But to be honest, my back is even in pain even when I'm sitting down. So I don't know if it's a weight problem or what. I don't fucking know. But I mean, I also just enjoy cycling. I used to do it a lot when I was a kid. Uh,
Go do that good shit, and you're doing all these things.
Granted,
yourself,
I've
and they
been
make it
I've
worse.
been I've been saying I'm gonna get that bike for like half a year now, and I still haven't gotten it. So just another thing that I'm procrastinating on.
About it, and then you don't sleep, and then blah, 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 it goes all over again.
All over again, and you gotta break that cycle. But I'm telling you guys, a large part of it does start with your diet. It does start with your food, and it does start with physical exercise. And physical exercise is not even working out. Some of you guys, the best thing you could do is take walks, and long walks. Walk for an hour, okay? It's one of the lowest impact things you can do. It doesn't necessitate you go to get a gym membership, but I'm telling you, if you guys walk consistently and you got like 15,000 steps, a lot of you would be doing wonders for your cardiovascular system, for your mental health, for your physical health. Walking is one of the biggest keys to a lot of this stuff, but we live such sedentary lifestyles because we live in cities that don't have the ability to walk. We live in cities where you need a car for everything, all this other stuff. So, and he's a person who spends hours gaming or just sitting at his computer desk. That's horrible for you. So if you don't compensate with a lot of walking or whatever it is, you're definitely going to feel that. No thoughts?
The denial is crazy.
Bruh.
It's a mental illness to me. That state is a mental illness to me. Eating that way, it's a mental illness.
What do you mean mental illness?
Because it comes with denial. It comes with you still indulge in that with all the known facts that we know about food. With everything that we know about food, that's what you decide to do. With all the knowledge that we have, like it's a known fact. What's healthy, what's not. You're living off of beef jerky every day. You don't want to be. That's mental issues. No, I'm doing fine. You're being stressed. All this time that you were saying that you were fine and you were just good and you were not depressed and this and that, come to find out you're stressed. You're not doing well with your life. You're not sleeping well. If it's not mental is maybe pushing it, but that's an illness right there.
Yeah.
That is yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's that's what it is. And so there you go. And streaming stressful. I want to make you guys understand this. Okay. This is the least stressful part of my day. I love streaming. I love doing it. It's not your fault. It has nothing to do with the stream. Obviously, chatters can be annoying. Of course. But that's not the real reason, okay, guys? It's really not. I wish it was the reason because it would make it so fucking easy to solve.
Imagine having chatters. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
That's so good to hear that. Yeah, no, I'm okay.
I don't even know what that's like.
I just want to let you guys know that I've already been making improvements for a few days, and I've already seen a tremendous decline in like those like high spike blood pressure stuff. And you know, like going down today, like just a few minutes ago, it was lower than it pretty much ever has been. And that was like in the middle of my stream, in the middle of discussing all of this stuff, right? And so I do think that I've already made a tremendous amount of improvement, and I hope that I keep making more improvements, and that's what I'm going to keep trying to do. Yeah, so that's about it. I think it's sugar in a soda. Yeah,
Holy crap.
I really don't want to.
Is it just me, or am I actually starting to feel a little bit sleepy right now?
I probably will have to cut.
I really didn't think I'd start to feel sleepy because I fucking woke up at like 8 p.m., but I can actually feel my eyes like lowering. It might actually be because I haven't really eaten anything today, but
at least until
I actually am starting to feel.
Right?
I'm not trying to be mean.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. How long have I been going? Okay, you know what? It is 12:30 right now. I'll probably keep going until like. Well, okay. See, here's the thing, because here's how it normally ends up happening for me, right? I'm feeling kind of sleepy right now, despite the fact that I've only been up for like 4 hours. Okay? What's gonna end up happening is I'm going to end up fucking getting into bed and then I won't fall asleep, and I'll be up until like fucking 6 a.m. Like, this sleepiness that I'm feeling is deceptive. It's like a psychological thing where it's midnight, so I know I should be in bed right now. But like, so my brain is making me think I'm sleepy, but I know I'm not because I fucking woke up at 8 p.m. So,
I'm really not trying to be.
you know, it's actually funny though because I just got done watching a video about I just got done watching a video about unhealthy eating habits and shit like that, and I'm about to start fucking. I've literally just ordered in fast food for me to eat while I'm watching this video about how living unhealthily can have you go into the hospital because you're like at risk of a heart attack. Like, Jesus Christ. All
I'm
right.
pissed off when I see shit like that. And the way you take your life and you don't really take it seriously and shit. And the denial just. I would really wish you the best. I hope you get better. I hope you can find it for you to eat better and see what you're doing that is unhealthy and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Why does that piss you
Oh,
off?
Destiny's talking to
Piss me off
PF
is a
Jung
strong
right
word,
now.
But it's just the fact that it's kind of as if like I'm
It
living.
felt personal. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, it's not. It's just whenever he talks, he's talking to the grand public and saying it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not this. It's not that. Well, you know, I don't. There's no problem with that. After a certain amount, I don't get dirty anymore. It's okay. Just drinking this much sugar, drinking this much. It's okay. The diminishing of the actions is what gets to me. There's a lot of kids that are watching you. There's a lot of people that are watching you and telling you like you're broadcasting it. You're not saying, yeah, kids, do exactly what I'm doing. But just the fact that you're diminishing the aspects of all of that shit.
You're downplaying. He's basically saying you're downplaying the potential harm that comes with living this kind of lifestyle. And you have like a young, impressionable audience that might be like, oh yeah, so living this kind of life, there wouldn't be anything necessarily wrong with that, because et cetera, et cetera.
Not having a well balanced life and just diminishing the effect of being a fucking shipwreck is what pisses me off. Is I'm like, what are you doing? You're lying to someone. It's either me or it's either yourself. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that lie, you're broadcasting that lie. So, but I really wish that you could recover. You recover. You better yourself.
I agree.
You seek help. Because help, it's sometimes it's gonna be hard to do this alone. Sometimes it's gonna feel very overwhelming, especially if you haven't ate a salad in your life.
If you're in denial. Some people think they can do everything by themselves. I see people who run businesses like this, and people think they can run their health like that, and you can't. You've shown it. You can't manage the way you eat. You can't manage your sugar levels, and you've just kind of neglected all these things because you think you're fine, but you don't have the aptitudes or the knowledge to really be able to say that. Yeah. You're convinced yourself that, oh, you know, it hasn't really had. No, you've been building up the negative effects. And then one day you're going to do a full blood test. They're going to run through you should do that. Go do a full blood test. Let them look at your hormone levels. Let them look at everything. And you're going to see that a lot of stuff is not in the good ranges. I promise you. You cannot have a bad diet for this long and your blood work is going to come back good. And what those markers are going to say is you're at risk for a lot of different diseases and you've heightened those risks. Now, maybe you're okay with that. Maybe you're willing to say, I'm willing to risk death for these things. But it doesn't sound like it. Because once you were faced with death, what did you say? I was afraid. I'm making changes. Go take the blood work. Go do all that stuff. You can afford it. Go do it and find out what the fuck is going on with you. And I say this again, not to be lecturing or anything like that. I've just seen too many people around me die young for unnecessary reasons. I had to make those changes myself, okay? During the pandemic, wasn't good for me. I couldn't go dancing. I couldn't do any of my physical activities. Wasn't going outside. And it fucked me up physically and mentally, okay? Started changing the way I eat. Started changing the way I lived. And I've dropped all the weight. That's fine. Looking better, that's fine. But it's actually feeling better. Feeling more energy. Wanting to go do things. Wanting to be motivated. Sleeping well every night. It's been life-changing. So I want that for you guys as well. I want you guys to live and be there for your loved ones and for your loved ones to see you a long time, for you to have kids and to do the things that you want to do, okay? Because it's sad. It's sad when you have people that care about you and you have to pass on because you refuse to put down the soda. Most of us have too many people counting on us, and you, Asmongold, I actually think this dude's very intelligent. I hear him on a lot of different topics. I like hearing his takes. He has a lot of good information. He's well thought out. I think it would be such a waste to lose an influential person who's really this good at changing people's minds because they don't want to stop drinking soda. Maybe I'm an asshole for trying to push that. I don't really care. I think you have such a wonderful influence on it. Please put down the soda. Please put down the Twinkie. Beef jerky ain't that delicious.
Put
There's
down
better
the
things out
Twinkie.
there. Why kill yourself over food that's just mid? At least die over something that's really delicious.
Like pussy.
Anything else? No.
But we have something a little bit.
All right. Okay. You know what? Wait. How long have I been going now? I think I've been going for 2 hours, right? Almost 2 hours. Okay. You know what? Now it's time for some gaming and chilling, okay? We've more or less. Oh, I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about fucking shit. Yeah. So some new footage. I'm gonna assume this isn't all there was, but this is all that's been leaked. Hopefully I don't get copyright striked for showing this. But yeah, so new footage of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man got shown. We'll just play it quickly. And intro of this is basically a remix of the opening from the '60s show, or it's not necessarily a remix. It's more like a new song that samples the '60s intro. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of people, I mean, this isn't even an MCU project. I mean, I know that originally people speculated that it was, and that it was gonna be, what was it? It was gonna be like an origin story for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and it very well may have actually started as that, and then over time it like veered into becoming its own thing. With that being said, someone kind of criticized the fact that Marvel seems to be really milking on nostalgia lately, and it do be kind of true, because from what I understand, this show is going to be taking a lot of cues from the Ditko era of Spider-Man. Then its intro samples the '60s theme song. The art style is kind of meant to look like the art style from like the golden age era of comics. You have, other shows that are like nostalgia bait, like X-Men '97. But to be honest, it's not necessarily a bad thing so long as the product turns out to be good, you know? I say that, but then we all kind of like criticize games like Sonic Mania for like rehashing like old levels despite it being a generally good game, so who knows? I don't know what it is, but something about this show is really giving me like Spider-Man the New Animated Series vibes. Which is funny because a lot of people have been comparing it to Spider-Man the New Animated Series, saying that the animation looks worse. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like obviously there's the obvious difference in art style, but I feel like the animation kind of looks the same. The backgrounds look the same as they do in Spider-Man Tina's. So it's like a part of me is really hoping that this is a cartoon that will be going for a more mature angle rather than the childish angle that Spider-Man cartoons have been going on as of recently. Like, I don't expect this to be as dark as Spider-Man Tina's, but like, I don't know. I'm getting good vibes off this show. Okay. I'm getting good vibes. I mean, this isn't that much to be getting good vibes off of, but I'm getting good vibes, okay? Hold on. Is that supposed to be Harry? Oh my god, they turned Harry into a total fruit in this. I mean, wait, I didn't, wait. I mean, like, yeah, there's no walking back what I just said, okay? Am I wrong? I mean, look at him. Am I wrong? Come on, tell me I'm wrong. Anyways, people that are saying this looks bad, this looks, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd have to get like a proper look at because it's kind of hard to tell off of like camera footage, right? But this looks fine to me, and I don't know. Here comes the Spider-Man. So yeah, like I said before, I'm hoping that Because Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, trash. Um, Marvel Spider-Man the cartoon, not to be confused with Marvel Spider-Man the game, trash. I'm hoping this will be. Listen, I'm getting like slightly more lighthearted Tina's vibes from this. I'm hoping this will be like something akin to Tina's, because if it's something akin to that, I will fucking love it, okay? It'll be like I just I've been wanting a good Spider-Man cartoon for so long, because what do you mean you've made cartoons so shit that I stopped watching them after like the first season? And to be honest, like I didn't even watch a whole season of Marvel Spider-Man. I only got through like like maybe 5 episodes before I was just like, nope, nope, I'm done. I'm done with this fucking garbage. And like at least Ultimate Spider-Man, for as bad as that cartoon was, that show actually did have some redeeming qualities. It just didn't feel like Marvel Spider-Man had any at all. Um, the target demographic for a Spider-Man cartoon should always be young adults, okay? Teenagers and young adults. That is what the target demographic for a Spider-Man cartoon should always be, okay? Um, Now I'm not saying make it like some weird Riverdale type shit, okay? Because I noticed y'all snuck Nico Minoru into this show. Um, and a lot of people don't know who Nico Minoru is, so I guess I'll quickly go into who Nico is. So Nico is the goth girl we saw earlier. Her, uh, she's one of the main characters from a much more obscure series called The Runaways. I'm actually thinking of doing a review of the comic on my YouTube channel, but uh, I'm not going to elaborate on that because I always say I'm going to review something and then I just don't. So I'm not going to elaborate on that. And it's kind of interesting because Nico is basically like the only character from the Runaways who ever appears in like other shit. The Runaways itself is not that popular. It got a TV series. The TV series got canceled after I think it was 2 seasons. Hold on. Um, Runaways. I I'm pretty sure it was 2 seasons. Marvel's Runaways. 3 seasons. Okay. It got canceled after 3 seasons. It didn't do particularly great. And I like the comic, but the comic didn't do particularly great either. Okay. The comic Okay, so to give some backstory for the comic started, I believe, in 2003. It had like 4 runs, and then it had like a really terrible ending. The fourth volume basically got canceled on a cliffhanger, and I guess it just got like unceremoniously canceled because no one was really reading it. Um, and then when the TV show was made, they sort of brought back the comic in hopes that the TV show would boost the sales of the comic. But of course it didn't, because people who watch Marvel cartoons and Marvel movies and play Marvel games, if you're not someone who's already reading comics, chances are you're not going to be someone who's convinced to go and read comics off of seeing this stuff, especially considering the fact that these things aren't really that connected. It's not like anime and manga where like anime is like an adaptate like a one-to-one adaptation of the manga. So like if you're like too impatient to like wait between seasons or whatever, you'll go and read the manga. Like no, it's not like that. Like every single adaptation exists independently, so no one really feels incentivized to go and check out the other stuff because there's no reason to. You've got your version that you're attached to, and that's it. Um, but yeah, going back to Runaways, I mean, yeah, the comic went on for like a little bit for a little while longer after the TV show got canceled. Its most recent run just ended recently, like last year. It ended on a cliffhanger again, and it's probably not going to be coming back because once again, no one reads The Runaways. It's probably one of the least popular comics in Marvel, like period. Like to be honest, I can't even remember how I started reading Runaways. Um, oh, actually, I think I do know. I looked it up because one of my favorite Marvel artists, Humberto Ramos, who's mainly known for working on Spider-Man, had done it. But like I think because he started working on the series at volume 3, and I was like, fuck, I kind of need the context. So I went back and started reading from volume 1, and I found, I actually kind of like the Runaways comic. Okay, I actually kind of like it. Another one of my favorite artists, David LaFuente, who worked on Ultimate Spider-Man 2009, he also worked on that series. His art doesn't look quite as good as it did in that, but it's always neat to see an artist whose art you like work on a series you like. Um, oh yeah, I was kind of going into it earlier. Nico is like the one character who's allowed to appear in shit, who from the Runaways, who appears outside of Runaway stuff. Because, like, Nico is obviously here in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, a very random addition that they decided to make to this. A lot of people were kind of cringing at the prospect that they might make Nico a love interest to Parker. I doubt they're gonna do that, but it also depends on how much of Nico's character they plan to incorporate into this, because one of the weird character traits that they gave Nico in the original comics is that she likes to combat stress by being physically intimate with other people, which is a very interesting character quirk. I am not sure I understand it, but listen, man, sometimes you just make whatever but anyway, all this to say, I don't think she's gonna have any kind of relationship with Parker. But yeah, she's here in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. She was in the A-Force comics. She was in I think it was Young Avengers or something. To be fair, Alex Wilder was also in Young Avengers. And Alex Wilder also has appeared in other stuff. I think even Chase appeared in that too. But like Nico seems to be like really the only character from Runaways who has been popular enough to like appear in other stuff that's not just the Runaways. And I mean like good for her, I guess. It's very possible. I mean from the look of the intro, Nico is definitely going to be like a main member of the cast of this show. Um in fact, from the she appeared even before MJ and Harry, so like she's like second billing after Peter. So she's definitely going to be like a pretty prominently featuring character in this show. Um, I'm kind of curious if they're going to like use this cartoon to like launch an animated universe and like maybe from here we'll have the Runaways become a thing. Like maybe they'll make like an animated Runaways cartoon. It's possible, but I mean, we'll have to see. But I mean, as of now, there's still not that much to go off of when it comes to Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Frankly, I'm going to be completely honest. So little news about this cartoon was coming out ever since when it was first announced that there were multiple like pretty much every time news about this show came out, I forgot that it was still happening because I always thought the show was getting canceled. But now we have like actual like animated footage of the show being displayed. We know it's real. We know it's actually happening. And again, I don't know why, but unlike with Marvel Spider-Man, I'm actually kind of getting good vibes from this. I think the fact that I'm not wrong in assuming this, right? This is going to be like a Disney Plus show. So the fact that this isn't going to be on like Disney XD or any of the Disney TV channels, if they're like still a thing, is what gives me hope for this show that they're going to be a little bit more willing to tell mature stories with this show because like it's kind of like what happened with Spider-Man the new animated series. The fact that it was on MTV meant that they didn't feel obligated to like market it towards children and they're like, okay, teenagers, young adults, that's what we're doing here. And even better, the fact that they're like gonna be pulling a lot from like the golden age, Ditko, Stan Lee, and all that shit, um, gives me a little bit more hope too. I don't know. I mean, this is obviously not going to be like a strict adaptation. Like, sure, they're very clearly taking a lot of influence from that era, but like the fact that Nico is here and Nico's a character that didn't exist until like fucking 2003 is the greatest proof of the fact that this isn't going to be like the most accurate adaptation of that era of all time. That title will more than likely still go to like, I mean, it's a toss up between Spectacular and um, the original animated series, the 90s one, 1994. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see where this goes. I hope this show will be good, man. I really hope this show will be good because I don't know, man. I will be so disappointed if this show ends up being just like another typical Disney Spider-Man cartoon. I want this show to have like I want it to at least be like spectacular in terms of the kinds of stories they're willing to tell. Now, there are some things we've heard about how this might not be a typical street level Spider-Man film because apparently the spider that gets dropped on Peter's neck gets dropped by way of multiversal war between like Venom and Doctor Strange or some weird shit like that. Okay, that's not sure how I feel about that. I just want my normal like you can't like do all this like weird multiversal shit while like basing it off of like the Ditko era, which is like the most grounded Spider-Man has ever been, you know? So like you're treading on thin ice there. You can't like tease me by being like, yeah, we're gonna base it on the Stan Lee Ditko era, but then you're still gonna do like these large scale multiversal threats. And listen, I'm not saying you can't do that with Spider-Man, okay? I'm just saying I generally prefer it when Spider-Man stories are a little bit more grounded, especially in terms of the interpersonal conflicts in Peter's real life outside of when he's being a superhero, okay? I like it to be vaguely disconnected from the Spider-Man stuff because the whole point is that it's, you know, he's when he's not being a superhero, he's meant to be a normal person with normal people problems, okay? So, yeah, I don't know. But we'll just have to wait and see, okay? I'm just glad that stuff about this cartoon is coming out at all, okay? Because I I thought this cartoon was gonna be was gonna be dead, okay? I mean, to be honest, if this cartoon was dead, I wouldn't be crying about it too much, because then I'd just be like, yes, give us Spider-Man 97. But I mean, and listen, they did say that Spider-Man 97 isn't completely off the table, okay? They did say that, so you never know. You never know, but it seems uh it seems highly unlikely to me that they would have two ongoing Spider-Man cartoons at the same time. So, but yeah. I mean, I do believe that's about it as far as news I wanted to cover. Oh shit, hold on. Someone is calling me. I will be right back. And this is the second show that they've ever made in the entire time that they've existed. And their work before this is literally a hentai called.
I almost said it kind of looks like a hentai, so
It's literally a hentai called Fucked My Best Friend, and it's a yaoi hentai. Oh shit, that's actually that fast food that I just watched a video about how I shouldn't be ordering that just arrived. Listen, okay. I know I'm not supposed to be eating fast food, all right? But I mean, shit. Uh, yeah, I have no excuse. Anyway, I'll be right back.
go.
Oh, and the studio is called Elias
I mean,
Studio.
that's pretty base, but at the same time, I think this manga deserves a better studio. They should have
Mhm.
given this to like Madhouse or Trigger.
Or like the people who did at the very least the people who did Harem Labyrinth or the people who did Mata, but I can't
Yeah,
remember who
that's
did
true. Heron
Yeah.
Labyrinth looked pretty good.
Oh, and I guess since I've mentioned the studio, I might as well mention the director. The director is a guy called Toshikatsu Tokoro, and I actually found his history of works to be somewhat interesting because, well, he directed episodes of Tony Kawaii and Mysterious Girlfriend X, which uh, I mentioned last part as an example of a romance show everyone should go watch. But he also did the Greed Island arc of Hunter x Hunter, the original, which is
Oh.
interesting, and Trigun. Basically, this guy has worked on like a lot of, I guess you could say, respected
Yeah,
shows.
that's more like it. Someone fitting of the status of this manga.
Yeah, it's funny because he actually hasn't worked on that many like fan servicey shows, which is kind of funny. Well, I guess Tony
He
Kawaii has
must have
stopped,
been a true believer. He must have read Elfson and been
and it
like,
was
"Oh
like,
hell yes."
this is what my life's work has been building up to.
Yes. But what I was saying earlier about the time is like, I feel like if it's really fortunate they made it 10 minutes because they could have stretched this into a 20-minute episode and it would have been so boring. But the fact that it was 10 minutes made it like,
Probably depends on how they'd approach it, like how many chapters per episode they do.
but I thought just like what they covered was, I mean, I wouldn't call it a fast pace. There were definitely like some comedic moments that didn't land as hard as they could have if they'd been a little bit faster. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like agonizingly slow. It was just normal, kind of mild pace, you know.
Yeah. I mean, basically like almost like your average slice of life kind of.
Okay, I'm back.
And if you have those vibes like a little
All
bit,
right,
so,
all right, all right. Well,
which is kind of a problem.
I do believe that truly is, and conclusively, everything that I wanted to cover today. Unless, do I want to talk about? Do I want to talk about the fact that, shit, what's her name again? Uh, Iman Khalif. Iman Khalif? I think it might be Iman, like Pokemon. Do I want to talk about the fact that Iman is planning on suing people? So that's an interesting news story. I don't really know if I have that much to say about it, to be honest. Daughter? What? J.K. Rowling. So, yeah, so you guys might have heard about this. I'm sure you guys are familiar with all the drama surrounding this boxer that a lot of people were accusing of being trans. There's been no proof of anything of the sort. She's decided to basically sue a lot of people that were involved in propagating that narrative. And one of those people happens to, of course, unsurprisingly, be Mrs. Harry Potter writer herself, J.K. Rowling, and of course Elon Musk. To be honest, I don't even remember hearing Elon Musk like make comments about this. There's no like, is the basis of Iman's claim when it comes to Elon Musk specifically just the fact that all this stuff was being propagated on his platform? Because that kind of seems like bullshit if that's the case. Unless Elon Musk did make claims about this, in which case, whatever. That it makes sense, I guess, to sue him. I don't know. It's weird. Oh, this article seems to be making a rather outrageous claim, because as far as I understand, at most Rowling would have to pay a fine, but this one is making a claim that Rowling and Elon Musk could even go to jail, which is like, holy shit. All right, let's see what this says then. Okay.
Elon Musk and J.K. Rowling could face 5-year prison terms and fines of up to £214,000 if Paris 2024 Olympics boxer Iman Khalif wins her case against them after she included the pair in a criminal cyberbullying lawsuit. Holy moly. I mean, I feel like this case is open and shut, no? They're accusing this person of being trans. They're not trans. So, unless they pull like some, oh, you're a public figure, so people are allowed to like transvestigate you type bullshit, I don't really see how Elon and Rowling come out of this case completely unscathed. I will say there is something interesting about seeing this happen to Rowling. I feel like Rowling kind of deserves this, to be honest, because Rowling is someone who like there's a lot of people she's forced retractions out of, or like on Twitter, like forced the people to apologize and retract things that she said because she basically threatens like legal action against them because obviously J.K. Rowling is British and defamation laws are a lot stricter here in the UK than they are in the United States. Color me surprised. The country with stricter speech laws also happens to have stricter laws on what you can say about public figures. And J.K. Rowling is someone who very much likes to abuse those laws, as she's threatened to sue people who talk shit about her multiple times. And obviously, a lot of those people are just like normal people who can't really fight her in court. So, of course, in the end, they end up, retracting their statements. Um, so, this feels like something that's kind of been a long time coming for J.K. Rowling, if I'm being honest. Like, I feel like she low-key deserves this. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you spend a lot of time using your millions to bully around like normal people on Twitter who are just talking shit about you. Now someone who has presumably as much of a bottomless pit of wealth as you do is, taking you to task for what you've been saying about them. I mean, karma's a bitch. Karma is indeed a bitch. Anyways, let's finish reading the article. Tech billionaire Musk and Harry Potter author Rowling were among the high-profile figures leading the outcry about Khalif taking part in the Summer Games at which the Algerian fighter won gold. Now Khalif has filed a lawsuit to French authorities alleging acts of aggravated cyber harassment. And oh, so she's filed the lawsuit to French authorities, and I'm assuming like France has like the same speech laws as the UK because Europe is like a totally dystopian. Anyway, and the potential penalties at stake have now been revealed, as well as the prospect of yet more famous names being targeted. I wonder if Logan Paul is going to be included in this because Logan Paul was also one of the people who was talking a lot of shit um, about Emaine Khalif as well. But then Logan Paul did sort of tweet out like a half-hearted retraction after people informed him about the true nature of this person's identity. Um, at the time, she failed unspecified gender eligibility tests administered by the now banned International Boxing Association, with the International Olympic Committee instead taking charge of the boxing events at Paris 2024. Okay. Oh, is that it? Oh, her participation against women boxers at the games led to protests from many, including Musk and Rowling, as well as some of her defeated competitors, but also support from others who backed her right to fight. Nabil Baudi, the gold medalist Paris-based attorney, has now told Variety Musk and Rowling were both named in the criminal complaint posted to the Anti-Online Hatred Center of the Public Prosecutor's Office last week. Possible repercussions for cyberbullying offenses in France are prison sentences, which is kind of wild. I don't know if I agree with that. ranging from 2 to 5 years and fines between 26,000 and 39,000 pounds. Holy shit. Now, guys, I'm going to be completely honest here, okay? I don't think cyberbullying laws should actually be a thing, and while it is definitely satisfying to see like someone like Rowling, be BTFO'd for stuff that she does to other people, like obviously cyberbullying laws shouldn't be a thing. I think it's crazy that you can go to jail for something that you tweeted. Like even if it's not like an outright incitement of violence, like holy fuck. And a lot of that has been happening in England lately too, as I'm sure some of you know. People who've been listen, and obviously I don't condone people like being racist. I feel like that should be pretty obvious. But like I just find it kind of embarrassing that Keir Starmer's like bragging like, "Oh yeah, look at all these people who've been tweeting insane shit that we've been arresting." And I'm like, "Bro, I don't care about people tweeting stuff. Can you like go and deal with like the actual rioters?" And to be fair to him, they have been sending police to deal with the actual rioters, but like stop talking about arresting people posting tweets like you've done something, okay? It's embarrassing. And you know what's really funny? Because I know I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here, but I just find it so funny that like people try to make this like a party issue. Because I remember people were posting that some guy here in the UK, I think his name is like Wayne something, has been sentenced to jail for 3 years for tweeting stuff. And like a lot of people are like, oh, look at like the authoritarian state that England has become as a result of Labour taking over. And I'm like, you guys do realize that like the Tories have been running this country for like a decade, over a decade, and some of these laws were actually enforced by the Tory party too. The sooner you realize that neither of these parties really care about like England having free speech, the better. And it's really embarrassing too that like when Rishi Sunak was prime minister, he would talk about free speech sometimes, but some of the laws that he wanted to put in place regarding speech in this country were some of the most draconian laws I've ever heard of in my entire life. What do you mean someone who's openly critical of Britain on the internet would be legally recognized as a terrorist by the British government? Are you fucking insane? Like, you're basically trying to make it so that it's borderline illegal to actually be able to criticize the state of England. Like that's bullshit. But like yeah, that's laws regarding like speech. I've just no, stop. Every country in the world should approach to speech, especially on the internet, should be American style. And like listen, I say a lot of shit about the Americans. I love to constantly make fun of the Yankees, okay? But if there's one thing the Yankees have right, it's their attitude toward free speech, okay? And I know, guys, I understand. I completely understand. Yes, yes, it is satisfying to see transphobes and racists get arrested for saying um out of pocket shit like this. But just know that laws themselves are not partisan, okay? Which means that laws like this can absolutely be used even on progressives or like in cases that you think it's totally not justified, okay? So just, that's why I generally like, yeah, it's a little bit satisfying to see this happen, but as a general rule, as a general principle, I still think it's a bad thing. Okay, just so we're all very clear on that. It's insane. Okay. The fact that you know how like a lot of like content creators say KYS in a video game because they don't want to get like banned from the platform they're on. I don't say in a video game because I don't want to get banned from YouTube. I have to say in a video game because I don't want to get arrested and sent to prison. Okay? That's why I say in a video game. Okay? But yeah. So um now where was I? Um Possible repercussions for cyberbullying. Yeah, I read that. If prosecuted as online hate speech, perpetrators could even be fined £64,000 to £50,000. Oof. Mr. Bowdy said Khalif filed the lawsuit as part of her fight for justice, dignity, and honor. It was issued against Musk's social media network X, formerly named Twitter, which means it was filed against unknown persons. So it wasn't filed against Elon specifically, but rather Twitter itself. So my assumption that a lot of this was being propagated on Twitter is the thing. Can you even like win? I have a feeling she might have a case against Rowling. I don't know if she'll be able to win against Twitter, because unless Twitter is recognized as a publisher, but I don't think it is. The lawyer explained that it ensures that the prosecution has all the latitude to be able to investigate against all people, including those who shared hateful messages under pseudonyms. Oh, oh boy. J.K. Rowling and Elon Musk are named in the lawsuit, among others. All right, we already said that. What we're asking is that the prosecution investigates not only these people, but whoever it feels necessary. If the case goes to court, they will stand trial. He added that while this particular lawsuit was filed in France, it could target personalities overseas. Trump tweeted, "So whether or not he is named in our lawsuit, he will inevitably be looked into as a part of the prosecution," he added. Ooh. So even Trump might get fucked in all this. All right, that's interesting. French prosecutors have now opened an investigation into Khalif's online harassment complaint. The Paris prosecutor's office said today, without naming specific subjects. Its Office for the Fight Against Crimes Against Humanity and Hate Crime is probing charges of cyber harassment based on gender, public insults based on gender, public incitement to discrimination, and public insults on the basis of origin. The news comes just days after Khalif took home the gold medal in the women's 66 kg boxing competition. She emerged victorious after enduring a widespread campaign in which she faced a barrage of questions over her gender. In one post on X, Rowling shared a photo of Khalif's fight with Italy's Angela Carini, accusing the Algerian of being a man who was enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head. Bruh. Okay. Yeah. And then there's Trump's, yeah. So, okay. I mean, we'll see how this goes. Very interesting thing to observe. Again, very conflicted feelings because a part of me would very much like to see J.K. Rowling get a taste of her own medicine. But at the same time, the principle of the fucking thing, it's like, you know, free speech, it's like, but I mean, I don't know. Will we ever even have such things in these countries? Probably not, right? I mean, again, I said this on stream the other day, but you guys couldn't hear me because my mic was fucking muted. I feel like a lot of the time, the reason why whenever a new government gets elected, they never really do anything about these laws is because they don't want to appear to be the government that's basically saying, we're making cyberbullying legal. Like, because that's basically what getting rid of those laws would be tantamount to doing in the eyes of a lot of people. So, and it is an optics L. It is a major optics L. It's like, oh, you're making it legal for people to be like transphobic and racist or whatever on the internet. And it's like, dog, you have to understand, this shit is so insane that people are like getting arrested for tweeting Snoop Dogg lyrics, okay? These laws should not exist. But, I mean, shit. It's as they say, for as long as they do, you might as well make the most out of them, right? It's it's kind of like what socialists say about living in a capitalist society. Since you live under a capitalist system, you may as well maximize your happiness under which the system you currently live, because why the fuck would you like fuck yourself over principally in accordance with the society that you don't actually live in at the moment? I don't know. I don't know if I really believe in that, but I don't know. That's just me trying to cope with the, again, admitted satisfaction I find I feel myself getting from J.K. Rowling facing these consequences. So, I mean, listen, if Emain or Eman does win this lawsuit, I'm sure Rowling will think twice before opening her mouth ever again. That's for damn sure. Um, you know what? I was gonna play some Nier, but I'm seeing here that I've been going for, oh fuck, I've been going for just under 3 hours. So you know what? I think I am gonna go ahead and call it a wrap now. Uh, or call it a day. Fuck me. My brain is just completely fried from my totally fucked up sleep schedule. Alright, later everyone.